Chapter 2, Shloka 17 of the Bhagavad Gita says,
Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati.
Know that the essence that pervades everything is indestructible. It cannot be cut, diminished, or undone. On this Gita Jayanti special episode, we return to this truth because perhaps the deepest question any of us will ever face is not what do I do or what have I achieved, but a simpler, quieter, more unsettling one. Who am I? Two neurosurgeons sit together today, men who have spent their lives navigating the mysterious space between consciousness and the body, watching minds return, transform, or dissolve. Men who have seen the human self flicker in and out through moments that science can describe but not fully understand. Neurosurgeon Dr. Komal Prasad, who is also a part of an organization dedicated to teaching and living the wisdom of the Gita, joins his friend and colleague, our host, Dr. Sharan Srinivasan, a practitioner of Sanatana Dharma, whose reflections on life, death, and identity have quietly accompanied years of surgical practice. And here, it is Komal sir who leads the way, opening the door into a conversation that moves far beyond medicine and into the heart of the Gita itself. Not as a text to finish, not as a chapter to tick off a list, but as a way of living, an inner discipline, a lens through which you understand fear, ego, purpose, and the mind. Their dialogue flows through patients who woke up as different people, children who relearned how to walk, and the strange, delicate ways that memory and identity can fracture and reassemble. From there, it deepens into ego, ahankara, and the ancient architecture of the mind, mano, buddhi, chitta, the layers described by rishis that modern neuroscience keeps rediscovering in its own vocabulary. And within this exploration surfaces the timeless pursuit of moksha, universal, infinite peace, security, and happiness that lies beyond achievement, beyond identity, and beyond fear. But the episode is also about the future. The intelligence that we are building outside ourselves, is it the beginning of the end, the greatest threat to mankind, or simply a mirror reflecting our collective anxiety, our hunger to control, our fear of irrelevance? And beneath all of it rests one essential question. Why are we chasing so much? Success, comparison, control, even though life itself is the reward, life itself is the purpose. If everything we cling to is temporary, what remains when identity, fear, and expectation fall away? Maybe the Gita has been asking us this forever. This episode becomes an invitation, not to find answers, but to sit with questions that outlast everything we call our life. Questions that make us pause, questions that change the way we breathe. This is Rebooting the Brain, and this conversation makes you think. Who are you, if not the body, not the brain, not even the intellect?
ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीव उपास्महे हयग्रीव उपास्महे.
Rebooting the Brain, powered by PRS Neurosciences. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of our podcast, Rebooting the Brain. I am Dr. Sharan Srinivasan, a stereotactic and functional neurosurgeon from Bengaluru, India. As usual, we'll start with our mantra. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This shloka has been an inspiration for me from my childhood. And as the shloka says, from ignorance to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. This shloka can be used anywhere in your life every single day to transform who you are as a human being. And today, guys, is a very, very special episode. Special because of the guest, the day we are releasing, and the topic of discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the guest for the day, Dr. Komal Prasad. Komal, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
Dr.
Sharan.
Komal Prasad is a senior neurosurgeon from Narayana Health in Bengaluru, India. And he is going to talk to us on a very special day, which is Gita Jayanti. So before that, Komal, you showed me that story of that boy who had that rod going from his jaw coming out in through the forehead. What the hell was that story?
Sharan, yeah, being neurosurgeons, we get very different kind of stories.
Absolutely.
Both what we see, what we read in stories or novels, are sometimes nothing compared to what in real life
Which I agree.
can throw on us.
Yes.
And each day is new, and each day is that's why we never see this kind of fiction
Yes.
movies or this thing, because
agree.
our action and every day brings us real action, which
Very
are
true.
real life and death questions,
And real uncertainty and
real
real
uncertainties. And then this was the one which I was talking to you with you other day. This was about a young boy, he's a young engineering student,
Okay.
was traveling in a bus. This was a very ghastly accident.
Mhm.
So the road traffic accidents,
Who's in a bus?
In a bus. He
Huh.
was sitting in a bus going out of Bangalore towards Hosur, that side. The bus met with an accident. And this was some odd hour of the day, so he was leaning his neck on the side railing of the bus.
Oh, the window.
The window railing will be there. That will be metal
Correct,
tubings,
correct.
thin metal tubings. Then non-AC buses. So what happened when the impact happened? It got broken, one part of the
That rod.
It went into his head through the forehead and came out on the other side. He got impaled in the bus.
My goodness.
Means like he
I mean,
can't
he was
move
stuck
out.
to that window.
He was stuck to the window.
Good grief.
Because he can't move.
Correct.
It's like
Crazy.
it's impalement.
I understand impalement.
Yeah.
Which we used to hear in the black magic people getting it done and alwa.
So
My
then what happened,
goodness.
people, there were many other injuries, victims who were salvaged, and for him it was tough because people didn't know how to take him out because he's impaled and stuck to the bus. So somebody came with an electric saw, cut it a little away, fearing what would happen to the body, the heat and all.
Correct.
That electric saw was used and it was cut.
Okay.
And he was brought to hospital, and we were told that we are expecting something dramatic, but we were not expecting this.
Not prepared for anything close to this. I can imagine.
Because first thing as doctors, what we see is airway.
Correct.
And he was, to our amazement, even though the rod was going through his brain.
From here and came out here.
Yes. He was conscious. He was telling out, please take this rod out.
He was telling you that.
He was telling us that.
You see, guys,
but our worry,
you see the picture and what he's talking.
Our worry was more about airway first. Correct. Because rest all we'll see later what to do.
Correct.
So, but his neck is turned, rod from here to here, and it's some 5 feet rod. And we managed to do a tracheostomy emergency because there's no other way. We can't put a tube with this position.
So directly you opened the neck here and put it into his trachea,
so
windpipe.
His ventilation, respiration is
breathing
is taken care of. Then the next action was to take that rod out. No other way. We had to pull it out. keep loads of Surgicel, gel foam, the
To
things what
control
we
the
keep
bleeding.
to control bleeding, and then managed to pull it out.
Okay.
So then
So you
we
did
were
a scan, obviously, to see
obviously we did a scan.
where all
yeah.
had it gone in the scan?
You know the circle of Willis?
Yes.
It was just grazing
Oof.
the ICA, internal carotid artery,
Can't imagine.
and towards the basilar artery.
And missed everything.
And missed everything. He was lucky in maybe some 5 to 7 points. Any one of that would have.
I think that's
cost
what we
his
say:
life.
luck, destiny,
Yes,
fate, God,
yes, yeah.
whatever it is. I think everything came into place.
Yeah.
Ah,
And then the other end was through the occipital condyle it had come out.
my goodness.
Here grazing the basifrontal region, injuring, causing contusion to the frontal lobe, and coming out there. So this was the situation. Then once we pulled out, we realized there were some screws inside the rod, which got stuck inside because the rod
Inside the
came out
brain?
inside the brain. So two screws were just inside. So, but that in that damage control thing, that was
Correct.
enough for the time being.
Correct.
Next thing was to see what next.
So you managed to pull the rod out.
We pulled it out.
Okay.
Then the next step was to.
And you managed to stop the bleeding and all of those things.
We
Yeah.
managed to stop the bleeding, then operated, then we did a series of surgeries, 3 surgeries to
Okay.
be.
Why did he need so many surgeries?
Because gradually once the brain gets injured, as in any other part of the body, the tissue swells.
Correct.
And when the brain swells, it requires space.
Correct.
And because my brain is contained within this hard skull, so there's no space to swell further. So we need to do a decompressive craniotomy,
to
take out
reduce the
that
pressure.
bone to reduce
Yeah.
the pressure on the brain.
Got it.
And then the part of the contused and injured brain had to be evacuated.
Oh,
The
okay.
damaged, which was
This is,
damaged permanently.
more on the frontal
basifrontal
front.
region. So
Got
that was all taken out.
So you removed the bone and kept it in the abdominal wall?
Yeah,
or,
we keep it
the
outside
fridge?
there.
Okay.
So then then the next stage will be the infection,
Correct.
which is natural because it's such a
Unsterile mess.
unsterile thing.
Can
Which has
imagine.
gone to the brain. He got very severe infection, ventriculitis,
My
very
goodness.
meningitis, brain infection, severe pus.
And ventriculitis has such high mortality.
He was
Very
an
few survive that whole mess.
Yeah. So he was lucky in many ways.
I can imagine.
And
How long was this whole stormy period?
This was about 100 days.
100 days?
Yes.
In the ICU?
Most of it in the
The
ICU. Later rehabilitation, as you know, which took some more time. But he walked home.
Walked home?
Eventually he walked home.
Wow.
So-
Wow. That's amazing.
So the 2 screws came out from the backside hole.
Oh,
Which,
by itself?
Yeah, which slowly trickled
Oh,
down.
trickled down.
And then we had to operate again to pull them out,
Okay.
which was accessible.
Okay.
And then that was closed. And then this was the 3rd surgery. And after that, he gradually improved.
Wow.
And he
And-
continued his studies, completed engineering,
Oh,
joined some
job.
IT company. And now he's lost to follow up. So this was many years ago. And
I can
he
imagine.
is now.
How long was he unconscious in this whole episode? Though he
Initially,
came in
he
conscious.
came conscious. So later, once the brain swells, he
Correct.
became unconscious.
Correct.
Then he was put on ventilator,
Correct.
anesthetic, medications, sedatives. And then
The infection.
it was wavering ups and downs in consciousness. And then gradually he regained consciousness.
Got it.
Maybe a period of about 1 month where he was in a
Not
semi-conscious.
conscious, semi-conscious stage. So, as neurosurgeons, consciousness is something that is inherent to our, day-to-day, as much as oxygen is to what human being is. And we have the Glasgow Coma Score, the GCS, to measure consciousness, and all of us understand that. But you have written here, exploring consciousness from OR to OM. So OR, I understand, is operating room, and OM, I understand, is not anything to do with this one. So it's amazing. What does consciousness mean to a non-neurosurgeon or normal human being? Can you tell us what is your
See,
perspective?
consciousness is conscious. Like, are you conscious at present? Am I conscious? If we ask, anybody who can reply will immediately answer, yes, I am conscious.
Correct.
So that's the general term
Correct.
what we understand.
Correct.
And when my resident doctors call me in the night asking, we got a patient with road traffic accident, I'll say, is he conscious?
Correct.
As you said, Glasgow Coma Scale, what's the consciousness score?
Correct.
Coma score.
Correct.
So we have a objective way for our communication about what's the level of consciousness.
Correct.
It is for the purpose of communication, for the purpose of assessing how he is going to recover over a period of time.
Correct.
We have this kind of objective measurement. which in most of the times is reliable to give us an indication about what's the way forward as neurosurgeons.
Correct.
So that's the practical utility of the scale.
Correct.
However, if you just say consciousness, what is it? What does consciousness mean is elusive.
It's elusive.
Elusive. So because
Why do you say that?
Because there is no one specific definition for that.
Okay.
Because there is no one place in the brain where it is located.
Okay.
So if you ask me where is the area located for my left thumb, we all know
Correct.
it's very easily
Correct.
without any this thought. We in neurology, neurosurgery, neurosciences, we know that we take it to the
Correct.
right
Motor
hemisphere
cortex.
because it's opposite side control. It's a wide area because thumb has various functions. So like that, we have that map of a little man, the homunculus in the brain, where
Little
it's
man.
present. Little man.
Correct,
Homunculus is a little man. So we know where every part is located.
You also call it the motor strip, you know.
Motor strip is there, sensory strip is there,
Correct.
even emotions has an
Correct,
area,
correct.
memory has an area,
Correct.
hippocampus, medial temporal lobe. But putting together and to say like this is the area where consciousness is, you switch it off and he becomes unconscious, is not so easy. You can say in the ascending reticular activating system,
Correct.
in the medulla, or deep down just near the thalamus, we don't know. Or is it in the medial temporal lobe? What does it mean to be aware? Cognition or consciousness is something which eludes. There was a time in neurosciences where people used to do experiments on dogs on stage. There was a fierce
On
battle.
stage?
On stage. This was those days when there was two groups of neuroscientists. One thinking everything is located to a particular area of the brain, and other people who used to say it is holism, meaning like it acts as a whole. It acts like there's no one specific area, everything is interconnected, and it acts as one big bunch of tissue. So to prove their point, they used to do these experiments on stage.
My goodness.
Where they stimulate one part of the brain of a dog and explain how it is.
Wow, crazy.
Localism versus holism
Crazy.
was a major debate in those
I've not
days.
heard of this. I see.
Yeah. So, but eventually, no one party could win.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It's not a black and white answer at
Yes.
the end of the day.
Like this story of the young unfortunate boy, which eventually was
it's like the happy ending in a
happy
movie.
ending.
Yeah.
There are some stories in our neurosciences. You will be aware of Phineas Gage,
Correct.
the railroad worker who was involved in a
Similar kind of
blast accident. Those days, maybe 150 years ago, when railroads were being made, he was putting some blasting material. What do they call that? Some dynamite or something.
TNT.
And then it blasted. It injured his front part of the brain, frontal lobe. Then he survived that, but he totally changed. His personality changed.
Correct.
Gage was not Gage anymore.
Correct.
That was the famous statement we
Correct.
see. So
And we see that very often the family complaining to us, sir, model tar illa sir, or he's completely different.
So
Model calm ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೋಪ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ.
yeah, the reverse is also true.
Correct.
Like
Exactly.
we had one patient from West Bengal who had a big tumor, a sphenoid wing meningioma. Hefty man, he was like that bouncers what we see. Then his complaint was aggressiveness, anger and all. Then he did really well. Huge tumor, but he did really well. And he went home and he comes back after 3 months. I have forgotten about his past history. Then he said, Tumba improve agide sir, very. So, chanag baitare sir. So he scolds people. He gets angry. But he is very much improved. So then I was surprised. You are telling it as a complaint, but you are telling that some improvement has happened. What's the story? He said, sir, earlier he used to beat people.
So that's a qualitative improvement. He's only verbally abusive, not physically abusive.
He was physically abusive. And now after we took out the tumor, he has toned down that.
Interesting.
So then I realized there can be shades of.
Correct. That's why we think our country is a very fatalistic society.
He used to
tolerate all
really
sorts of
beating it seems. Then now he is at least just abusing verbally.
so funny, interesting. So
So
then again, there's some circuit
yeah,
in the
this is
brain.
about the personality, how it changes.
How it changes, really.
And even about that Broca's area, we say,
Correct.
that speech area.
Correct.
It was again like this kind of one more example with the patient itself who developed.
Broca's
Yeah.
area, guys, is the left inferior frontal on one side, which controls the spoken speech. BROCA apostrophe S.
So for that person, Paul Broca, he identified this by a similar example where this patient could not speak, expressive dysphasia. So that's when he suspected, based on his previous experience, that this could be the case. But only post-mortem, he died of something else. And then when they opened, they realized there was an abscess in that region.
Oh.
So that's how that
Pus
is
in the
local.
brain,
Yeah,
yeah.
pus in the brain. And in the region of that inferior frontal lobe. So that's when they realized it's localized. So speech is localized there. Expressive speech is localized there.
Got it. It's
And you
amazing.
see in your typical example of your guitar, why don't you share that once again, like what you did in the
So,
awake craniotomy?
Actually, yeah, it's this guy had something called guitarist dystonia or guitarist cramp, like how you get a writer's cramp, 3 fingers of the left hand cramping when he plays, only when he plays the guitar. Others, he has no paralysis, he's completely fine. And all medications didn't work. And finally, we had to lesion a part of the brain, which is the part of the motor thalamus called the ventralis oralis nucleus of the thalamus. And once, as I was lesioning, and it's an awake surgery because we need an active feedback. 2 reasons for the feedback. One, to make sure I'm not burning the wrong location. And secondly, I'm burning the right location. Both are equally important at the end of the day because they're so close to the internal capsule on either side. So as I'm lesioning, he started playing the guitar better.
Amazing.
So it is just amazing how I'm 9 centimeters.
Real-time feedback.
Yes, real-time feedback, 9 centimeters inside the brain, zero pain. He's comfortable. He's playing a tune, not just playing a string. It is incredible. 7, 8 years now since I operated, he's doing fine. He keeps posting videos online frequently and things like that.
That's a typical example
Yes.
of awake craniotomy.
Yes, it's amazing. So coming back to consciousness. So consciousness from us is limited to awake, not awake, coma, no coma, and things like that. But there are a lot of people talk about higher consciousness, subconscious mind, this and that. So what is this consciousness and that consciousness? What is it the same? Is it different?
Consciousness, Sharan, we all relate it to brain. We feel the location of consciousness is within our brain.
Correct.
For again practical reasons, like how we see like awake craniotomy, where we operate awake craniotomy on patients who have tumors near the motor strip, or even the speech area. We open up the left frontal region and then keep talking to him. And some people will be wanting to see what is happening during, and so this fellow, he requested, keep the TV on. What is happening live, he has to see on the TV. He's won this thing. And he is guiding me, sir, that yellow part is there, that's also looking like tumor. Why don't you take it off?
Your own patient, huh?
His own brain I am operating. He is seeing it live on TV.
My goodness.
And I am taking out carefully. And he is guiding me, telling, sir, alli ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ yellow ಇದೆ, that's also looking like tumor. Why don't you take it off? So this is how
patient-driven surgery.
So this is, as in that guitar case, this is patient-driven real feedback. We have neuronavigation like GPS within the brain.
But that doesn't give this feedback at all.
Yeah, this doesn't. That's a physical location.
More
physical location. But the physiological thing is this.
Absolutely.
So that brings to the point again that the consciousness or the feeling of what it means to be me is somehow located.
Me, aham, I, whatever.
Is within me, within my body. Most likely within my brain, because when brain gets injured, we see they won't be conscious enough. But where exactly, what exactly it is, we don't know. Scientific community, when they reach that question, the hard problem of consciousness, they put brakes, enough, stop. We'll get back to our molecular studies.
And I think that is because of this. I believe this, again, my personal point of view is, I think where this science actually driven by the Western philosophy or Western this one is evidence-based. The moment, if I can't see, I can't hear, I can't feel it, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And honestly speaking, it can't work that way all the time, because things have changed, evidences have changed, realities have changed. In fact, I was arguing with one of my cousins who was a PhD in statistics, which is only numbers, and we were talking about evidence, science, hardcore numbers, and things like that. He said, "Sharan, I was also like you. I only believed numbers. I only believed what is in front of me, and I never believed anything else." And he said, we were in a conference, one of our statistical conference, and some very well respected, Western guy was talking, and after that there was a Q&A. And at the end of the Q&A, during the Q&A, somebody asked him a question, and then about evidence and no evidence. Then he gave a beautiful answer I want to share with you. He asked that guy, it seems, "Do you know gravity? Have you heard of gravity?" He said, "Yes." "And do you agree that everything to do with our life, every single moment is, what to say, influenced by gravity? You want to send a rocket to space, you do this, you do everything that is taken, the factors considered and taken action. Yet you can't see it, you can't feel it, you don't know where it's coming from, yet it is ruling your life every single moment." Many times it's like that. Just because you don't see it, you can't feel it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It only means with the current level of capability and science we have, we yet cannot do it. Maybe sometime in the future it may show up. And that's why, because that's the way it is. So that I thought was a very nice answer to make me stop looking at evidence and challenge the frontier and push forward.
Yes.
Before we go down that path, see, normally when people ask me about, money, materialistic world, how this world has become very materialistic. You are telling me about VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, constraint, and chaos. It's a chaotic thing. Then you have these youngsters who say, YOLO, you only live once, do what you want, masti mado, inge. And a lot of people have different ways of doing it. Everything is about money, vitamin M, everything is becoming more and more transaction, very little of emotion, very little of empathy. So I would always tell people, when they would get close enough to talk to me, I would say, see, all human beings need 5 things in life. You need health, happiness, peace of mind, love, and relationships.
Exactly.
That's the reality of the process. Health is arogya, happiness is ananda, peace of mind is shanti, love is preeti, and relationship is, Yet money can't buy any of them. Everybody thinks if I have money, I'll get this. It's not true. It's an illusion. Money is a transaction. So from a Vedantic perspective, how do you explain these for your, what is your perspective about this? Can you tell our audience?
Yeah. So we are switching gears here from exploring our own self and what consciousness means to define consciousness versus what people want.
Correct.
Like as
Exactly.
you
Because
clearly pointed out,
this strangely connected,
Correct. Peace, security, and happiness, as you clearly said. These are the 3 things everybody wants. So, in Sanatana Dharma recognizes that these 3 are the important thing for people to have: peace, security, and happiness. Keeping that in mind, keeping it as an intermediary goal to satiate that needs, what Vedanta takes us will be towards an exploration into your own nature.
Okay.
So these are just springboards, kind of entry points where you will be drawn towards an exploration which will lead eventually to exploring your own self. These are intermediary goals because everybody wants it. So like we being in neurosciences, we are very fortunate because we hit that inflection point very early because of the experience, like how we are seeing day in and day out.
And we see death every day, unexpected deaths. No question.
It is a normal thing for everybody on this planet to experience, but unless you have a inclination to think about it. Like I had this meeting with medical students in Shimoga a long time ago. I was talking to them about yesterday night. I came to Shimoga. I came by a train. I was sleeping. Morning I woke up. Then my friend who was with me asked me, like, how was your sleep? Naturally said, oh, I was excellent. After I went traveling in a train after a long time, but I didn't expect, but I had a nice sleep, good sleep. So then I asked the question, like, in case if you need to explore and if you have a time to think, you can think that way. Like, if you are asleep, who was that who was awake to note that you had a good sleep?
I don't know. It's a good question. Very interesting question.
Then
Somebody was awake and looking at me probably.
Boys, those young medical students, they were started thinking that time.
Agreed. You got me
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. Like now we all say, like, okay, night I had good sleep.
Correct.
But you were asleep. You were not awake. Then
And if you're awake, you're not asleep.
yeah. So those are all Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, this Sushupti. So that is other technical terms we say. But in deep sleep, that the different levels of sleep, all that we speak. But if you're in sleep, you're not awake. But who was that who recognized? What was that? Who was the driver who is within you, within your brain?
And
So
who decided to wake you up also?
Yes. So, and again, they say about taking analgesic for headache. We all get headaches. We take a tablet, then continue resting or reading something or sleeping, just relaxing. Then sometime later they say, is your headache gone? Then if it is not gone, then you'll say it's no, not yet gone. But after a long time, if I ask you, is your headache gone? Then you'll say, yes. When did it go? So you have noticed that it has gone. It is not at that instant. It was sometime in the past. But somebody has noticed within you that headache went away at a particular time between that time when you asked and it was there and now. But we don't have a clue when exactly it stopped.
So who is this somebody you're talking about?
Who is this somebody?
Who is this person?
Yeah.
It's a split personality, right? There's a...
Exploring consciousness.
So that's what got you. So what got you into this space? I've been itching to ask you this question.
They see everybody will have some instances, like we have neurosurgeon friends who have seen somebody in their during their childhood, a family or a friend, a person who got into an accident. They saw firsthand. It was a kind of very hard experience for a young mind, and they wanted to be neurosurgeons. So similar experiences for everybody will draw to neurosurgery. For me, it was some childhood instances which naturally pulled me towards exploring self. I was a kind of introvert boy, and you will be easily can relate. Like I had what appeared like a seizure, maybe a micturition syncope, and those days nowadays we know when quickly we stop anti-epileptic medications. Correct. So those
days, you had what an epileptic suspected, which nobody suspected,
had. Many times, many children, even now, they get bigger just to be safe.
Correct.
And many times we recognize that and stop.
Correct.
So then we don't see the social implications when a boy is put on anti-epileptic medication.
So you went on anti-epileptics.
So I was on that for some time. Then
you said you were in Cardinal. That was the crazy.
Yeah, those days it was
Cardinal. I can imagine.
And then you will be overprotected more than the effect of the medications, and you will be an introvert. That gives you time to think. You study well, you excel in whatever you're doing, but it also gives you time to think about your own this thing. How am I? So we don't notice that how these chemicals in our day-to-day life affect us.
Got it.
We are talking about consciousness. This is very important point to note. Like how much of our brain is on our control. We say like the way I think, this is how I am. This is what defines me, because that's how I respond.
Yes.
So, but how much of that
I'm mentally
feeling,
strong, I'm like this.
How much of that feeling is actually controlled by us is something which we neglect. Even a cup of coffee is enough to alter our mood.
Correct.
Even a sleepless night is enough to make us jittery and agitated.
And you also mentioned the stimulants.
Yeah, stimulants, any kind of this in nicotine. If coffee can, why to think about alcohol or anything?
Alcohol and the other,
even coffee is enough, or even a sleepless night is enough.
Agreed.
Permanent peace, security, and happiness is possible And it
Wow.
says the
Hmm.
next biggest revelation
Hmm.
is that it's already within you.
Come,
Permanent
repeat
peace,
again.
security, happiness is already existent within you. It's the
When I say within you,
declaration.
you're saying me as everybody.
You, me,
Everybody.
Yeah. The
What do you
person
mean by
who is
that?
in suffer.
Can you give elaboration to that?
So, peace, security, happiness, that
Hmm.
infinite fountain of that
Hmm.
is available, accessible to every one of us.
Oh, it's not that it's only available for him, not for me. And
Yeah. So it is. Then
Interesting.
why do we still struggle? So this is, see now when you are slowly transiting and shifting gears between our exploration of neuroscience and getting into this, you get from the point of finding a solution for a practical problem. We are not looking at it as a scientist who are totally satisfied with however we are and trying to experiment and tease out to explore what is the nature of wood or what's the nature of this molecule or what's the nature of this muscle cell. We are not looking at it like that. We are not, I am too constrained, I am stressed, I have family problems, but I am trying to explore what is there in the muscle cell, what is acting in my. I am not doing that. I am doing it for my own, to understand my stress. I am not taking me out of my exploration.
Okay.
I am exploring myself, my behavior,
To become
my
a better
stress, and even the other environmental factors. Heard of zombies? I want to tell you about the
sure.
yeah.
I've heard, but you can tell a story. Yeah.
Zombies is like the general term of zombies we know.
Hmm.
This is about living stories of some animals
Hmm.
in the animal kingdom. This is particularly about toxoplasma. In neuroscience, we have heard about toxoplasma. Toxoplasmosis. This is a parasite. So the life cycle of toxoplasma happens between cats and mouse, like Tom and Jerry. So,
I never thought about it like that.
So what happens is this toxoplasma lives in cat intestine. It's like how we have roundworm, hookworm. So it stays in cat intestine. And then it comes out of cat fishes. It's eaten by rats. And the rat, when it eats this infected stools, that larval form of the parasite gets into the blood and gets into the brain of the mouse. Into that particular region, which will alter its behavior. To such an extent that this mouse, which should naturally, intrinsically get afraid of the cat, gets a kind of amusing feeling when it sees a cat.
Really? Who studied all this? Yeah, I mean, I'm crazy.
This
it sounds like a cartoon, what you're saying.
It gets amused by the smell of cat urine.
Whoa.
Attracted by it.
I didn't know all this.
And gets near the cat, tries to make faces, and tries to attract cat's attention.
Somebody studied all this, huh? Yeah. Very interesting.
It's not, the mouse will not, it will feel like now today I have gotten liberation.
Correct.
That fear of cat is no more there, gone.
Thanks to toxoplasma.
Thanks to toxoplasma.
Crazy.
It's even, there are pictures in scientific journals which show this mouse sitting on the head of the cat.
Now it sounds Tom and Jerry only to me.
Then what happens is eventually it gets eaten by the cat.
Okay, finally.
Because if you are just so much irritating the cat, it's its natural
cat doesn't have toxoplasma, the cat is
it eats. So in the process, the cat's hunger is satiated. Because cat won't eat a dead mouse. It has to hunt, kill it and eat. So this is the natural law. So now, because it's a easy prey, it eats. In the meantime, this cat and mouse story, who has succeeded to continue the life cycle is the toxoplasma.
Correct.
So what is
very smartly it has done all this.
What is dictating the behavior of the cat, mouse, is this small parasite which is doing all the play. Amazing. This is one example in the natural.
You really corrected very nicely.
Yeah. And there are some umpteen number of in the plant kingdom. Also, similar kind of examples where there's zombies in the brain is something what the National Geographic had a beautiful
Serial,
article.
article.
Those days it was print, National
Okay.
Geographic.
Oh, it's print.
Yeah, and it's a very well-known phenomenon which is described in scientific journals and new scientists,
Correct.
this kind of thing.
Correct.
Very interesting to see. It again relates to what it means to be we, what it means to be. So I think this is how I am. That kind of audacity we say, like what defines us. This is not me. This is how I respond. I had that inner strength with. Where is that inner strength was given by toxoplasmosis?
Correct.
They even say in humans, they have studied influenza virus. We all know COVID virus. Similarly, influenza is very common.
Correct.
Those people who are introverts, when the infection of influenza has happened and they are coughing day in and day out, that period when the infectivity is very high, 3 to 5 days after that initial period of infection, and they are slowly in that convalescence and getting out of the fever and those things, they get a sudden urge to go out. Enough. Now I can't stay at home anymore. I'll go hang out with my friends. That feeling of going out, the introvert getting extrovert, is not dictated by his own consciousness or behavior or his own self. It is by the virus which makes him to do that, acting on his brain to propagate its own life cycle because it has to infect his friends.
So you are trying to tell me, Komal,
how less of control we have on our brain.
That's a worrying thing for me. I was quite happy with myself before I sat in front of you. Now I am thinking which parasite, which virus is
true.
determining my life. Yeah. Tea was bad enough. Now you're adding other things to the mix.
Which is that parasite which is making us to get together today?
Exactly.
To do this podcast?
It's too much. I have to find, and we don't know whether it's good we got together. We don't know the vaccine for this for sure to get it worse.
So like that.
Crazy. It's amazing.
It's worthwhile. That's why eventually we get into that inflection point where we start thinking about what it means to be our true self.
Got it.
What is it? Like the Western world or the scientific community can reach, as you said, which is limited by our senses. We have 5 senses.
Correct.
Which is not accessible to these 5 senses. We say it as not existent. We try to explain everything only with these 5 senses. What is it which can explain consciousness? The Western world comes to that final conclusion. The nearest or the furthest they could go through with a scientific approach is to say that consciousness is an emergent property of brain. The electrical activity, you have done series on epilepsy, how some misfire happens and a seizure develops, but how a kind of synchronous activity or defined asynchrony is what makes us human and have consciousness. Emergent property means difficult to understand as it is. It's like saying rolling is an emergent property of a wheel. You make any wooden structure or with a metal in any other shape, it just stays there or it wobbles. But if you make it in a particular shape, like a circle, like a wheel, it rolls.
Correct.
No end to it till where it can roll.
Correct.
Which was not the actual property of that iron or that wood, but because of its shape, in a particular way it is done. Rolling became an emergent property. Similarly, consciousness also is an emergent property of brain. It's the scientific thought. The way, the frequency of electrical activity happening, the way it is structured in the 3-dimensionally, it gives an emergent property which was not there individually. If you tease it out and keep separately, it won't
work. Correct.
It won't.
Correct.
When you combine it in a particular way,
interesting,
the spark happens.
Got it.
So that's where the scientific explanation of consciousness is that it's an emergent property of brain. The alternative viewpoint, what you were exploring about the Eastern philosophy, considers this consciousness as a primary entity and not an emergent property.
I see. That's what I read somewhere, where the modern science ends, Vedanta begins, or something to that effect.
Where neuroscience ends, spirituality begins. Spiritual thought begins. So this nowadays, because I kind of resist to use anything as I was mentioning you that day, anything Sanskrit, anything related to Vedantic terms, or even to say spiritual, is a kind of put off for certain category of people when they are expecting something only purely scientific to go forward.
Got it.
This will be a put off, like, oh, okay, now the story starts, and they will switch off. So that's why I resist. Now, after some exploration into neurosciences as well as this kind of philosophies, both Eastern and Western, it invariably, in spite of my resistance, it just pops out of my tongue. That's because now I realize
The mind is not in your control. It must be a virus sitting there.
I don't know what. These terminologies are essential to describe something which does not have an equivalent in contemporary scientific literature.
Not yet.
Not yet. For that reason, we need to have some placeholders where this very nicely sits in. That's when I bring in spirituality. Spirituality is that aspect of scientific thinking where we accept something which can't be accessible by our senses.
Can you give an example?
Suppose you want to explore what is there in an ocean.
Okay.
So you have a net.
You
go in a ship, go to that area, you select one sample, one area, and then put the net, pull out. So what is an ocean? Okay, ocean is an amalgamation of fish, some old plastic bottles. Then maybe sharks.
You spoiled the fun. I was thinking you're going to say something.
So that's your definition of fish. Of ocean. Okay. Then say no. Ocean appears to be something bigger than this. So you go back.
Bigger than plastic bottle.
So you explore once again. So what you do, you do some additional exploration and make the net smaller and smaller. Make it small so that we'll get much more. Then you get smaller plastic bottles, smaller fish, and smaller algae, those things and all. Then even you make smaller, you get bacteria, that algae, single-celled organisms, those things. But is it enough to define the nature of ocean?
No.
Because what is limiting is the net. We are expecting the net to hold everything. When your limitation is the net, you are losing the essence of what it means to be an ocean.
Very true. I agree with you.
So now, in case if your limitation of exploration is your senses, then you are bound to, like, if you want to explore, you want to label only what your eyes see as what is it existing, then you are missing out other four senses.
Correct.
You add other nets of other four senses. All the five senses put together still is a net.
The bigger, different net.
It's a different kind of net.
I agree.
So the essence of what it means to be conscious or to be you is lost when you're trying to drag out something like using a net. What is that net put together? All the five senses put together, we can label it as instruments of knowledge.
Okay.
So again, as I said, we'll have to our backup or solace will be to get back to those Vedantic words which I naturally get pulled to. So there are terminologies for this.
So and what are those terminologies called?
At the outset, I want to put a new perspective to when we say evolution.
Sure.
Evolution of thought. It need not be always linear. Like when we say sensex or when we say price of gold, we see it's constantly going up. And when we say we evolved from monkeys, in the same line of thought, without any hesitation, we expect evolution is always happening for good and better.
Correct.
That a feeling or a possibility that evolution means a change,
for the better,
which is necessarily, but not necessarily for better or bigger, is something which we are not
present to.
Because this 2000 years or 5000 years in history, when we keep it with the background of millions and billions of years of history of universe, is too small too small. And to expect in this 100 to 100 years we have had an exploration of insight into our nature will be very childish.
Correct.
And to expect those people who were in the age of Tipu Sultan or Mauryas were any less intelligent to us than us
Correct.
is again foolish
Correct.
to think.
Correct.
In their capacity, whatever was accessible to them. So they had time to think. Now we are busy with AI and busy with...
We are leaving the devices to think. We are
Yeah.
becoming stupider, I think,
Yeah.
actually. Alva.
So we are getting busier and busier for nothing.
Correct.
And we are time to actually think with the real hard questions is less. Whereas those rishis of those histories, thousands of years ago, who devoted their life to that kind of exploration.
They invested there.
Yeah, they invested their
Correct,
life.
correct.
So there is something, if it at least merits an exploration to see what they have said.
Got it.
And to see whether what is relevant in that which can be applicable to find answers for today.
Got it.
So I approach the Eastern philosophy
Okay.
with that thing in mind,
Okay.
that like they are not to be considered as something archaeology. It's a source of knowledge.
Or mythology.
Or
Both.
mythology,
Correct.
both.
That's
So-
how they very easily,
Easily,
basket it.
That's why in those days, those people, they used to go
Indian
to forest.
mythology says.
Yeah.
Anta.
It's like that, as if it's a story and a
Correct.
kind of, in the
Never
same
existed.
tone as they say archaeology, they used to use
Correct.
this kind of pod. So that's not a curiosity. It's an surrender to know our own self by people who have done the same exploration. If you miss learning from history, you will miss a big thing.
Correct.
So if you keep that in mind, these things will make sense.
They say, no,
So-
if you are not connected to your history, you are doomed to be in a dustbin.
Very true. Or we are bound to repeat the same mistakes
Correct.
again.
Correct.
That's what we teach our neurosurgery residents.
Correct.
Learn
Don't do
from
what I did.
our, because I
correct.
have seen that
Correct.
going wrong.
I
You
agree.
need not do that
Exactly.
wrongly and then learn by a
Correct.
mistake, which would
That is
cost.
stupidity.
Yeah. So those days, our instruments at our disposal are like this: 5 of our senses of perception, 5 of our instruments of action,
Mm-hmm.
which were our hands, legs, tongue, like that. And then there are 5 internal instruments. Okay.
So this is all God given, huh?
Yeah, it's natural. It's there.
It's there.
It's there. It's the name, like how we label in physiology. These are the names which are given to explore our own self. One is for the outside world, what we have to explore, and for the inside world, what we have to explore.
Wow.
When we say our inner intelligence, so one is our physiological system, which is prana.
Correct.
Okay.
Prana.
So prana we say pancha prana. So
Correct.
there are 5 terms again in that. Prana, apana, like that. So that we need not go into that. That's for the internal physiology. And another 4, which are our internal instruments to explore inside.
Got it. What are they?
those? So which we can generally call it as mind. Mind includes mana, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara.
Okay.
So these are the 4, which are the inner instruments for our inner exploration.
Mano,
Buddhi,
buddhi,
chitta, ahankara.
ahankara.
Okay. Manas is the generator of thoughts. That aspect of our inner self, which we say our own I, which will just,
The
as
one
you are listening,
who talks to you in the mind.
talks and who just generates like waves. Even if you're quiet, even if you're listening to this podcast, something which is just
Correct.
generating like froth, which is
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, the multiple strains of thoughts.
Correct.
That's the work of manas.
Manas.
Buddhi is the one which is the determinant of which one you are going to focus at this moment. Like you're focusing on my answer. Even though you have 10 other thoughts,
Correct.
you're concentrating on this, the spotlight.
Correct.
And to choose which one you have to encourage, which one you suppress. Yes, no. Now you concentrate on this. That is buddhi. Intellect, you can say.
ಇದು neglect ಮಾಡೋ, ಇದು focus ಮಾಡೋ.
ಇದನ್ನು focus ಮಾಡು. Mano buddhi. Chitta is your memory. It can be RAM or it can be your hard drive or everything.
Cloud.
Yeah, cloud. So that's
Cloud is the latest.
Chitta is all that aspect which is houses all your memory
Of the past.
of the past, which will help this intellect to define or decide which one you choose at that particular moment. And ahankara is that feeling of I, which bundles you into an individual.
Why is it called ahankara? Ahankara means ego.
Yes.
Atalva?
So these are sometimes again when we are getting into the Sanskrit terms, we have to be very, very careful.
Okay.
Even when we say consciousness or chit, or when we say ahankara, they have very, very different meanings.
Huh? Oh, I see.
And,
For me, ahankara, the
yeah.
commonest we say,
just ahankara so that is different. Ahankara is that feeling of I, which is because that feeling of I for neurosurgeons is very easy to understand.
Correct.
Particularly when we have this stroke in which involves left hemisphere. Left hemisphere, what happens? They will have a very funny feeling where the right hemisphere dominates.
Correct.
Right hemisphere is like a this diffuser. It concentrates equally on everything around you. Whereas left hemisphere is like a spotlight.
Correct.
So which focuses only on one, that intellect which has to do for that immediate activity. When that spotlight function is gone, the distinction between your body and the next
environment
dissolves. Those people who are in that, they are like in a kind of godly state, you will be seeing in rehab. So where they will be very pleasant, they have that distinction between you, me will go away. And they feel a sense of oneness, a kind of congealed feeling with everything around. And that's why they will be more accommodative, less worried about their position they are in, even though half of their body is not moving. That which bundles up through your left hemisphere and makes you feel as this is mine, this is not mine, is ahankara.
Nandu Nandala. That is ahankara.
Yeah. So the left if right side is gone, so left side will be dominant. There will be spotlight. They will be so spotlighted that you see that typical cases of hemi-neglect, where you keep a plate full of food, they will eat only one half of the plate.
Correct.
Other half they won't eat.
Correct.
They neglect the other side because they are so focused about this is me. This is not me.
Correct.
They will even neglect
they say
this hand is not mine. No, this is some dead body's hand is there. You take it off.
Correct. Agreed.
Very interesting stories. You would have heard of our V.S. Ramachandran's stories. No? Phantoms in the brain. All these examples are given there. These are all extensions of that. So this is where we see that ahankara is something which is, as I said, we are lost for terminologies.
I agree. And if you try to directly translate these words to English, it actually there's a limitation. You really get
to understand. To understand and go further.
Like understanding and getting, as you say, no?
So you generate images using Mona Lisa and Van Gogh style. You say it in your phone, you can generate image. How does it image? It doesn't know a bit about what is Mona Lisa, what is the face, what's the color, nothing.
What's the expression?
Yeah. But what happens is every pixel, millions and millions of possibilities will be generated in microsecond by the generator. It's like asking like a child, touching this in the shop and seeing the face of the mother. Whether can I buy this? Can I buy this? It won't ask.
Correct. So the face expression.
Correct. Then mother will say no.
We have done all this drama.
So like that, this adversary will say no. That's the intellect. So for every pixel it happens. If you want a picture of a starry sky, so each pixel it shines black, it shines red, it shines golden yellow. Then the adversary will say no, here it should not come, here it should not come. Only when it comes dark blue, it says yes. Then it goes to the next pixel. Like that whole picture is created that way in a fraction of a second. And that's why it's so fast. But individually, the child will not know what is the correct thing there.
Correct.
So this is like Manas and Buddhi.
Correct. I think that you hit the nail on the head. You connected to that. So you are talking about the 5 senses inside, the 5 factors outside. So, and then you spoke about the 4 things: the manas, buddhi, chitta, and the ahankara.
Yeah.
So, what next? How do you go next into this whole conversation?
See, one is about, first is today's Gita Jayanti. You mentioned about that. So I will bring this thought from the perspective of Gita, what is Gita and how we need to approach it. Okay.
But these will get connected there. These,
Yes,
yeah,
this
okay.
will definitely get
Perfect.
connected. So Gita is the culmination of thought process of the thousands of years which were there in Vedas.
Mhm.
That's ancient Eastern philosophical knowledge which are brought down through generations when there were no books, no way of transmitting using a keyboard or cloud
WhatsApp.
or WhatsApp or even writing.
Correct. Yeah,
So it
that's
was by mouth to mouth. That's why it's called Shruti.
Mm.
So it came down through ages, and then when it becomes so voluminous, we have access to only 108 of Upanishads, which were originally were in thousands.
I didn't know that. You told me that, and I was quite shocked about it.
So we have access to 108 Upanishads, out of which 10 are considered principal Upanishads.
Mm-hmm.
Voluminous means voluminous. It's a culmination of lots of people, rishis of those, who have tried to
So it's not
distill
one person sat one fine day
True.
and wrote one book and said, "Chalo guys, you take this."
Yes,
So
not like that.
it's not like that. That's why Sanatana Dharma is so different from.
Yes.
It's not.
It's like a scientific discipline. Maybe you take it as to, in today's terms, we can call it as computer science, for example. Suppose computer science vanished after a certain time, or you consider any other field like geometry, for example, which went into oblivion for no reason. And then trying to say one person authored computer science or
Correct.
geometry, you
Yeah.
can't.
Correct.
Like that. It was like that flourishing those days,
Correct.
which for various reasons came down. So this later got distilled into a certain form by Vyasa, Veda Vyasa, who compared this Bhagavad Gita as a kind of commentary which happened in Kurukshetra between Arjuna and Krishna. So that is nothing of that. What is said there is original spoken by Krishna at that moment. It's a culmination of what Veda says.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Vedantas,
It's not original.
yeah, because it's
distilled the information.
Distilled. Yeah.
Correct.
Sarvopanishado gavo dogda gopala nandana. So Partha was like calf.
Correct.
And the Sarvopanishad, all the Upanishads were distilled into the nectar, the milk of Gita.
Correct.
So this is what Madhusudana Saraswati he says
Correct.
about in the Gita Dhyana Shlokas.
Correct.
So this was the work of Krishna, what he did. He distilled the entire thing for the benefit of mankind into 700 shlokas. So what it touches upon is what is the reason for the human misery. We are all struggling. Everybody, any moment we are struggling.
Stress, sir.
Stress. We say stress.
Hello, sir. ತುಂಬಾ stress.
ಏನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ನನಗೆ
ಎಲ್ಲ stress.
ಸರ್ ಮನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಮನೆ ಯಾಕೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸೈಡ್ ಜನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಎ ಹೌಸ್. Same as in the same day you will see another person who will be stressed out because he has to sell a house. He will be worried.
ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ ಕಡಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
So the reason will be the same in opposite versions, but they will be worried. So this is one reason of how people get stressed about. So as you rightly said, these are the main principal requirements is peace, security and happiness. What Vedanta says is, even if we get peace, security, happiness temporarily by going to a movie or getting
alcohol,
yeah, whatever. So it's all temporary.
Correct.
What is it? What is the source of universal, infinite, continuous, permanent peace, security and happiness?
Is something like that even possible? You're sounding...
Yes.
Huh?
Vedanta says it's possible.
Really?
Permanent peace, security and happiness is possible. And it says the next biggest revelation is that it's already within you. Permanent peace, repeat again? Security, happiness is already existent within you. It's the
When I say within you, you're saying me as anybody, everybody.
You, me,
everybody.
Yeah. The person who is in suffer.
Can you give elaboration to that?
Peace, security, happiness, that infinite fountain of that is available, accessible to every one of us.
Oh, it's not that it's only available for him, not for me.
So it is then why do we still struggle? So this is, see now when you are slowly transiting and shifting gears between our exploration of neuroscience and getting into this, you get from the point of finding a solution for a practical problem. We are not looking at it as a scientist who are totally satisfied with however we are and trying to experiment and tease out to explore what is the nature of wood, or what's the nature of this molecule, or what's the nature of this muscle cell. We are not looking at it like that. We are not, I am too constrained, I am stressed, I have family problems, but I am trying to explore what is there in the muscle cell, what is acting in my. I am not doing that. I am doing it for my own, to understand my stress. I am not taking me out of my exploration.
Okay.
I am exploring myself, my behavior,
To become
my
a better
stress.
me. To become a better me.
What better to exist? Because that fellow who is crying with that, maybe me at certain times when I was so constrained, so stressed out. We don't want anything else in life other than finding a solution for it.
Correct.
Science has no meaning at that level.
Correct. You're
So
right.
your only science is, okay, first ನಂದ್ ಹೇಳು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ
Correct. ಸುಮ್ನೆ dialogue ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು don't give you all this stuff. Correct.
So that's
You're right, actually.
So this is with that.
No
in
logic
mind.
works at that
No
time.
logic works. So when we are in that stage, this is the roadmap of how to go further is given
In the Bhagavad Gita.
in the Gita.
Correct.
The Vedanta,
Yeah.
Vedas in
Correct. Got it.
as
Sorry.
in exemplified by Gita. Okay. So the thought process is, first is to assure that what we are looking at when we distill is this permanent peace, security and happiness.
Got it.
Are you with me till here?
Yes.
Yes, you are till with you. Then what if I say that this permanent peace, security, happiness is within you already?
That you told me, I'm still fighting
Yes,
that whole thing.
yes.
And I'm
So
trying to
this
say,
is
where
the,
is it?
this
How
is
would
the
you
way of exploration of how.
So that's the inner exploration you're
inner
trying to teach me now.
Yes.
Got it.
So this is the scientific method which we can consider it, and that's
Like trying to turn the microscope inside me instead of outside.
like how sometimes how you try to take a photo and you see what is this ugly face, and then you realize it's cameras. Cameras turn this side.
I'm going to kill you for this when I go off the camera. Oh, Ram.
So that is the inner exploration.
Got it. I think if the inner is a mess, then it'll look like an ugly face, or maybe worse than an ugly face.
So
true.
So what I was telling was peace, security, happiness, and that is available within us. And then why is it not accessible to me?
Correct.
Why is it?
And all the time.
There? Yeah, and all the time. So that's because the Vedanta defines what can be that obstacle for that.
Okay.
Like if the beautiful face of Sharan is in front of me and I am unable to see it so beautiful, that's because something may be stuck in my on my glass.
So we'll blame the glasses for it.
Yeah. So now, what is that in my glass which is obstructing that flow of permanent peace, security, and happiness?
Got it.
So this is the next question we come to. Then sometimes because now, pardon me if I am taking too much of
no.
terminological
No.
This
It's
thing,
perfect.
It's
perfect.
So it will be in Sanskrit, but bear with me because as you clearly pointed out, as with ahankara, these meanings by intuition and because we are tainted with our previous knowledge of little bit of Sanskrit or which is mixed with Kannada, we tend to take it with a different way. But just bear with me and with an open mind. So that's why many times what happens, these Western people, when they start reading this, their grasping power will be much more because every term will be new. There's no baggage. When I say Mala, Vikshepa and Avarana are the three obstacles which are on my spectacles to see you clearly. And these are the obstacles for peace, security and happiness to express out from within me.
Okay.
So we try, okay, what is Mala, what is Vikshepa, what is Avarana? We try to connect with what we know,
already.
because we know little bit, unlike the Westerner who is
or Aji mat kelirbodu, amma mat kelirbodu, somewhere.
So we should just throw it away for the time being and just to be with it to understand. So these are the terminologies to say. When we say Mala, what it means is that kind of it's a collective noun for the ones which drags us away from this questions of inner exploration, like it may be
Drags you away.
desire, turns away. That's the obstacle.
Correct,
In
correct.
a very solid way,
right,
like
that's right.
okay, this fellow is stuck with building his house, some fellow with a loan, or some fellow with his bank balance. So these are the ones. And what's the essentially, if you have to distill it, it comes into this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. So like this, typically exemplified by that. So that's the first level of obstruction, which will take us away and take us away from our happiness.
Or distract us.
Distract us also. So then the second one is vikshepa is actually more towards distraction.
Oh, okay.
That is more like, okay, IPL match ಇದೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು time. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. So that is what is your distraction. ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ. Trying to, okay, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ really exploration ನಾಳೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. So that is what is vikshepa.
Interesting.
So see, I am not telling it as some good shastra ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ,
These terms are like, and these terms are required because we have to, if we
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
Correct.
We need a name to put all this in one bucket.
ಹೌದು.
So that is called vikshepa. It's if I say, okay, children, note it down, there are 3 obstacles, then it will be a strict pull of, oh sir, again why this. So if you go in this, that's the biggest problem in understanding. So if you take it as the why it existed and why that collective known was required, then you will understand. Let's go take a second part is like in a subtle form. One is in the grossest form about mane mata, school ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮಲ, ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ದ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದೆನ್ ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಸಟಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್, ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಇದು ಮೂವಿ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ವೆಲ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಏನು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಟೂರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ,
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ.
ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್.
ಆವರಣ ಇಸ್ ignorance. Ignorance meaning like it's a veil which covers your thought process against that. It's like a curtain beyond which you can see that it's like that curtain shutter which you put on your car. So it's there. It's, you have to be wanting to take it out. So that is ignorance. That's the subtlest form of obstacle. So these are all the obstacles for inner explorations fall into these 3 categories. Now we should be willing to take out each one of them one by one to get that. That structure is given in Gita.
Oh, really?
That structure is given in Gita. So now if you just, okay, ಎಷ್ಟು ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಇದೆಪ್ಪ, okay, ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಏನೇನಿದ್ದು, how many names were there for Arjuna, why did he do that, Allah being this thing, godly figure, how can he ask Arjuna to fight so much of violence, and so if you get into that, you will totally lose the plot.
Correct.
So that's why I'm not telling you about shlokas.
Correct.
I'm not telling you about the story.
Yeah.
We all know, because being in India, being developed in our grown in with the background, our family background, we all know the basic nitty-gritty of what happened that day. Yeah, this is about, we saw 3. First is peace, security, happiness. We all, any human being, any part of the world is always looking for these 3.
I agree.
And not for temporary relief, not for
24/7 with 365 ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ, I don't know how to get it access to
we
it.
need peace, security, happiness, and it should be permanent.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅದು.
We should have it.
ನೀನು ಒಳ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಡ, ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಡ, ಒಳ ನೋಡ್ಕೋ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
So for that we have to see the what is the line of control. That line of control is obstructed by these 3. What is that? Mala, vikshepa, and avarana. And what are these we saw, and how to take out. So for each of these 3, there are 3 one terminologies about what you do to take out that. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, that is something which
surgery, treatment, vaccine.
So I am making it simple.
Yes, it's perfect.
So the term what we give to take out that first obstacle is called karma yoga. Okay. Karma yoga is proper attitude and proper action. Okay. So whatever you do, whatever you think, have a proper attitude, and whatever you do, do proper action. So that's a gist about karma yoga. Okay, that's the first, to take out mala. For the second, for the vikshepa, your vacillating mind, your vivacious mind, which jumps from this thing to that
Like a
thing.
pendulum.
Not just pendulum, it is
Going
knowledge
everywhere.
everywhere. There's no way where you can think.
Correct. True.
Wild
Sorry,
imaginations.
I agree.
But I will do that. I will go to Machu Picchu. Immediately, you don't require any time to think about that. Okay, where shall I go? Australia, New Zealand, or Machu Picchu? So like that. So it can go anywhere. So that's a vacillating mind. So for that, second one is Upasana Yoga.
Okay.
Upasana Yoga means like Upasana, ade meditation, that's something put off, no? Like, okay, ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀತಾರೆ ಕೋಟಿ ನಾಮ ಜಪ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಕೋಟಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ. So this all falls into that category. You have to look into that as a generic term to fine-tune the mind, to sharpen your mind for a single focus. That is Upasana Yoga. There are various ways, some of which you may not agree, some of which may not appeal to you at the moment. But have a name for it, the purpose of which is to focus your attention, focus your mind. It's called Upasana Yoga. It can be concentrating on God. It can be concentrating on any one particular action, what you're doing, or an entity, or just like Om. You know, okay, I'm non-religious, okay, I will have, okay, one white wall, anything is okay. But what is important is to train yourself to concentrate. Single-pointed focus.
And don't get distracted.
Don't get distracted. That single-pointed focus, if you have that laser-sharp focus and that you direct that focus to exploring your own self or clearing that dirt within, it will happen. So that exercise is all this. Why do you have to do japa? Why do you have to do meditation?
Like how you do physical fitness, gym, and all those things is like a mental gym or mind gym or whatever you call it.
So how you sharpen your pencil, like that. That's Upasana Yoga. So again, to put off, every time I am remembering you to put off what we think about Upasana, what we think about meditation, keep it aside for the time being. Those things which we were not okay with, those we were hesitation, reluctance, resistance, because somebody told and it didn't appeal to my scientific mind. Keep that. Just keep it as a name to represent that aspects which will sharpen your mind. That is Upasana.
Perfect.
Third one is about the avarana. Avarana is that ignorance. How you take out avarana is by Gnana Yoga. That's the third culmination. Gnana Yoga is about the knowledge, awareness about your true self. It's the final picture which opens up once you have a clear mind and have your razor sharp focus. That avarana goes off and you get into that, like that person who has a left-sided stroke, that border between you, your seat, and the chair vanishes. You become one with the universe. You realize that essence of what is there existing in this mic, in this cup, or in this chair, or in you, or in the animal downstairs. That essential thing is the same.
Wow. Amazing.
So that's when you realize it is just incidental that I happen to have this kind of thinking brain within me, whereas my real existence is something which is beyond the confines of this limited form which I have.
Got it.
Then you realize that that state is eternally peaceful, essentially happy, and the most securest place, because there's no fear of any distortion, because the essence is there, the currency is there. You identify yourself with that currency, the value or that essential, whatever you can call it, within you, which is same as what is there in any animate or inanimate thing.
Yeah, I think that's Tvam Tat Asi relates to this, or that's very different?
Tattvam Asi is again, Tattvam Asi is the other way in which the same three things come. So in other way, the 18 chapters in Gita. 18 chapters are divided by, again, Madhusudana Saraswati into 3 Shatkas,
Correct.
6.
Correct.
First 6, middle 6, third 6. The first 6 chapters concentrate about Tvam Padartha. That is your own self, me. Jiva, we call Jiva, because it typically exemplified by Jiva. That's me or you or whoever is the student studying or explorer. Tat is that which is outside of you, which has control beyond your control. I gave example of that cricket match now. So somebody bowls a ball and you hit with all your might, with full attention. So your control of what happens to the ball, whether it's a 6 or 4 or a catch, will be on the bat. So you have done your work, lifted it off. But eventually what will be the result will be determined not just by the force of your impact, but also with some extraneous factors. Whether a fielder was there, whether wind was blowing that side.
Correct. Or the longer boundary or whatever.
Everything. So there's something which is under your control, which is something which is outside of your control. All that which is outside of your control, or which you can call it as, there will be ways in which we can measure all this. Nowadays it shows the velocity, angle, everything. And there are some things which are immeasurable also. It may be just that spotlight which was there, which just blinded the eye of the fielder, which made him a little this thing, and he dropped the ball. It became 4. So that's something what scientifically how we can explore that. So like
some of the best, safest hands of drop catches.
Yeah. So unseen things also will be there. All that unseen aspects you label it as Tat Padartha, that thing. Like in the ancient world, it was like that unexpected rains, thunder, so any lightning happening, which had no explanation, which we can relate even in today's world.
Correct.
So that part which can be called as an unseen force, which people tended to call as God or some supreme being, is considered as Ishvara, as which has a control over something which we don't have control about. That's called Ishvara. Label it again. Take out that all your notions about Ishvara, just as a placeholder, as a name of that entity, which controls the thing which will affect you, but you have no control upon, and you can't even see.
Got it.
The existence of which is
there
plausible by our natural experience.
By the action, yes.
Yeah. So all that you label it as Ishvara, that entity which is beyond your physical, mental capacities, but it's there because it's there. We experience it. So then that is called Tat Padartha. Tvam, Tat. So these are the two. That's what you feel is under your control. My body, I have control, like that. So, and that which you don't have control outside you. So this Tvam and Tat, essentially, if you see the essence of what is there within you and the essence of something outside, which is playing in the macro scale, if you have to explore the essence of that, the essence of that and essence within you is the same. That is Asi. That's the equation between the. That's the Vedantic equation is that Tattvamasi. That's how the Tattvamasi.
That's how it connects.
Yes, Tattvamasi Shvetakito. So like that it comes. So that's the third aspect. So in the third.
So second Shataka
is about that Tat Padartha, about the God, nature of God. What is God? What is so? So even
Ishvara,
for
the so-called Ishvara.
Correct. So even for that, see, the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma is it is accessible, and there is no sinner in Sanatana Dharma.
SINNER,
sinner. So
in Papa Madidya,
so
interesting.
That is accessible, the same knowledge is accessible, and you need not believe in God as people believe it has to be believed. You need not believe in that way, like in the existence of this thing, in that form, in this form, namaskara madu. Eventually, what is needed is a solution for your problem in life.
And be happy, peaceful.
and be happy, which is your true nature.
Correct.
And when you're taking there, so all these artificial impediments, boundaries, ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಅಡ್ಡ ಬೀಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾಮ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಂಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡು. ಬಟ್
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೀನ್ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು
ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ದಾರಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ವೇ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ. ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್, ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ action. So meaning, to give an example, like whatever.
So second shataka, the middle shataka is karma yoga.
First shataka is karma yoga. That's about jiva. Second is upasana yoga, about God, to realize the nature of God and to have a reverence towards it, so that your mind is sharpened. And third shataka is about asipadartha, the equating these two, the essential oneness of the essence of the macrocosm outside and the microcosm inside. So that's the equation.
It's all one.
It's all one. So it's all called Mahavakyas. Tatvamasi is called Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi.
I was just going to say that. Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi. Correct. Prajnanam Brahma. All these are Mahavakyas, which equates these two aspects of microcosm and macrocosm.
Very good. Perfect. You have moved it nicely to the next level. Now, then there are two things now. You had started with the senses inside and what you do outside. But you did not give the placeholders for that.
For inside or outside?
Yeah, the indriyas. Do you want to say that now? Or I thought it was relevant here because it comes in the first shatakas, no? How you interact about you. Is that how you want to connect it? Or you want to do the jivatma, jiva, jagat?
Jiva, jagat, ishvara. See, that one, whatever we can explore. We have intellect. We have that ability to think. Okay, so that's something which is bestowed on us. Okay, so like
I like that word. It's bestowed on us, yet we tend to abuse it, don't use it. Bestowed is a very powerful word, Komal. Actually, andre ontra ashirvada kottangadu alva. It's not, very amazing. I love that word.
What is the purpose of life? People get into when they have free time. When they have free time. ಏನಿದು ವಿಚಿತ್ರ, ಏನಿದು ಮಾಯೆ. So they will think, what is the purpose of life? The enlightened masters say, what's the goal of life? Life itself is the goal. You have reached there. Enjoy it. So there is no further.
You only live once. You know.
So that's something. As long as you know this thing, it's the culmination of this thing. Yeah, again, in enjoy madidide. You do anything out of fulfillment, not for fulfillment. You drink coffee, not for fulfillment. You drink alcohol, not for fulfillment. You do something, you build an organization, you work for a Nobel Prize, not for getting something.
Correct.
It's out of joy. So there's
sadhana tara.
Yeah, like how small kids will be. It's two things you see. One small kid who is just dancing in free time in her home, out of joy.
Correct.
Versus the same kid trying to do the same steps as was taught on the stage on the school day.
Or a competition.
Yeah. How different it is.
Very
how
different.
artificial it looks on the stage. Whereas how natural it is. Because here she is doing out of joy. There she is doing to get a fulfillment, because only when teacher says you did well or somebody gives a prize, she will be fulfilled.
You're so true. But you are saying that she can have the same feeling there. It can be a very transformed experience.
True. So as long as you're doing something in life out of joy,
got it,
taking that as a joy as your basic nature, then it will be a play.
It's transformational. Like, what is
so if you want to do something to get joy, then you are in a fix.
Like buying it.
Yeah.
Literally you're trying to buy it.
That's why if we realize that life itself is a goal in itself, then we can say, okay, everything is in the Swami Anubhavananda says, Karnatak. So it's
Karnatak.
So that's how life is.
How you split it.
Yeah. So just play.
Play of words. It's a play of words.
It's a play, naturally.
Correct.
It's out of joy. There is one more thing called moksha. Moksha then you are desiring to go somewhere. That's again common.
Correct. ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ದಪ್ಪ ನಾನು.
ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದೇ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ತಾನೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, actually you're right.
Then it's kama. Then what is it? It's not moksha.
So your desire for moksha becomes kama. Hey, you confuse ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? You are fully confusing me.
So there are only three.
You're right, actually. That means it should not be a desire.
Should not be desire. So then what is that fourth entity?
Oh,
Vamana story I have heard, no?
I mean, I have heard, but I think I should hear it from you.
ಮೂರ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಫುಲ್ ಭೂಲೋಕ,
ಸ್ವರ್ಗಲೋಕ
ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗ್ದೋಯ್ತು, ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದು ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ eventually it comes to that only exploration of your own self, an introspection of your own self. That's a symbolic meaning in Vamana story also.
ಹೌದಾ? I never realized this.
So that aham, when he
ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಆಯ್ತು ಅವನಿಗೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಅಹಂಕಾರ is for everybody. We are also in the same boat.
Correct.
So unless we think of what's that entity which is not measurable below or above, then the only place left is annihilating yourself.
Annihilating
yourself.
So
like that salt doll
you're using. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, like the salt doll which gets annihilated. Did it get annihilated actually? It was there earlier. It as
came out from the ocean, went back to the ocean.
It is again
ಕೆರೆಗೆ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೇವಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ತರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು.
ವಾಪಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. Then where did it go? ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. But that possibility, that desire that I want to know the depth of the ocean, I want to know my origin, was that aspect of Purushartha which is valid desire, which is given a different name called moksha. And that need, that thought, that inquiry is again bestowed upon only human beings and no other organism. So then when we explore outside, what is that, why we say this is bestowed on us and not bestowed on a donkey which was standing on the divider whole day yesterday? You saw that news?
No.
4-5 donkeys in Sadarshana or somewhere.
ಹೌದಾ? ನಮ್ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ
ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದೆ.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ,
4-5 ಕತ್ತೆಗಳು ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಸಂಜೆ ನಿಂತಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಡಿವೈಡರ್ ಪಕ್ಕ.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ಲಿ ಇದಾಗ್ಲಿ, just stood there for whole day. That picture they had put in Prajavati.
What does it mean? Interesting.
So that's the nature. So what's the difference between an animal and human life is that we are again bestowed with that capacity to introspect.
The frontal lobe probably does that. No, not necessary.
Not necessarily, but we don't know how, by a quirk of nature, we have been given that ability where we can think about who we are, which, as far as we know, no organism can think.
No animal, correct.
No animal, no organism. The same thing with AI. Luckily for us, till today, artificial intelligence does not have that ahankara to think.
Not yet.
That it is who am I?
Hey, wow.
Who am I?
Who is that human being?
Yeah, so that takes us to the artificial intelligence also. In that exploration, when we think, so there are these elements. What Vedanta says in the first chapter of any this thing. What do we explore? We explore Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Correct. These are the three things what we can explore.
Correct.
What is me? What is Jiva? What is Sharan? What is that person? Jiva means what?
Life. According to me, life.
Yes, life. Or a person, living being.
Living being. Correct.
Living being.
You know, Jiva Idiyappa.
Jiva. That's
right. At the baseline understand.
Yeah. Jagat is that inanimate world around us.
The world around us.
You can include some animal forms, plants also, the Jagat around us. Ishvara is that unseen thing which is not perceivable by any of our senses. But it's, realize, palpate, it's feel its existence.
Like gravity.
Like gravity, you rightly mentioned that. Which is there, like that how the way the ball goes, or the way somebody gets out, or the way an accident happens. So which we don't have any control. Why rains happen, or why earthquake. So something which will not be accessible to human five senses. That is Ishvara. And fourth aspect is, these are the three entities, physical entities. Other three are the physiology of it, pathophysiology. That is called bandha. Bandha is bonding into this Jiva Jagatishvara, in this tussle of these three. How am I stuck in this
The chain
samsara?
trap.
So that's the bonding. Then the next one is moksha. Moksha is liberation from this bandha, from this samsara. How you want liberation? Better go sleep and have this is liberated. So like that. So that's the how I get liberated from samsara. And the sixth is the sadhana, the way to reach there. So these are the 6 aspects any scriptural text is going to touch upon.
Correct. Well said. Agree.
So again, this is a structure. It's not like some Sanskrit. It's not like some note down and remember that one by heart. Not like that. It's a way to explore.
Correct.
Which is
why
generic.
Which is why we say Sanatana Dharma is a way of life and not.
Yes,
it
is eternal. Sanatana itself means eternal because it's relevant today. It's relevant thousands of years ago. It will be relevant thousands of years later.
Correct.
Because it has given a kind of generic, like generic medicines like that. We have this generic scientific principles to go through that.
Correct.
And to explore this Gita, again to touch upon Gita as today's Gita Jayanti. Gita is a manual of life.
Okay.
Manual for life. Manual is like a user's manual, instruction manual we have, no? Like I was mentioning about Amazon parcel.
Yes, I think that's a good example you gave.
So you buy some small stirrer or some small instrument or whatever, or even a headphone. It comes with essentially always it comes with a small instruction manual with all beautiful diagrams, nicely written with
three languages, four languages.
Foolproof way it will be kept. What we will do about that, first along with that cover, we'll throw it away.
Correct.
Grab that and see whether it's in order. First we'll go plug it and see whether it is blinking.
Correct.
That's what we do.
Jiva idya.
So first we'll throw the instruction manual. Or there will be some more intelligent people who are obsessive people. What they do is they will nicely fold it, cut that sticker on that Amazon, put it in a cover and keep very safely next to the bureau. So where someday it will be useful.
Correct.
So we do the same thing with our lives. Who has taught us how to lead life?
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ.
ಮದುವೆ ಆದಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮುಂದೆ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ಹುಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಹೂ ಟಾಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಹೂ ಟಾಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಹೌ ಟು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್.
ಅದು ಬಂಪಿಂಗ್ ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಫ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಬಂಪ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಯು ಫಿಗರ್ ಔಟ್, ಯು ಗೋ ದೇರ್, ಯು ಫಿಗರ್ ಔಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ.
ಸೊ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಮ್, ಹೌ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದಮ್ ಗ್ರೋ, ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ದಮ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ manual. For neurosurgery, we study for 6 years.
Correct.
So
it is exam pass ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, theory, practical.
For real exam,
what
do we have?
Case presentation.
So this is considered as manual of life, which was always there. Gita has to be considered that way.
That's why I tell everybody starts reading this when they retire from it. I think it should be done early to run your life.
Yes.
Alva, not after you finish your life. Then you regret.
Even for car, they say you have to keep in your this thing so that whenever something blinks, you can open and see. But we'll throw it away, or we'll keep it so securely next to our this thing. Devar mane pakdalli pooja ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. We'll never open it
or remember where it is.
So the way to approach it is again like ನಾನು ದಿನ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ, 700 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ 2 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So that's again
ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ನನ್ ಗೀತಾ ಕಥೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
The way to approach is to go through a guru who knows about the gist of it, and under a competent guru for a length of time.
However length that is.
Yeah, it will be generally 2 years, 3 years, minimum at the minimum, to fall into the groove.
Oh, to fall into groove.
Yeah. So then and eventually it's like ಇದು ದೀಪ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹಚ್ಚಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬತ್ತಿ ಹಿಂಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಹತ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ತಲೆದಿಂಬು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಗೀತಾ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡೋದು ಹತ್ತೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಫಾಲ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೂವ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬೈ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಸ್. And you should be wanting to know about it. Wanting to know. Like, ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನನಗೆ, ಉಪವಾಸ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು, I want to know. A typical story is given about a guru and shishya. Shishya goes those days, he goes to stay for years together. No, ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಗುರುಕುಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇದ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ನು ಜೂನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, 3 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು, 5 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು, ಅದೇ ಸೌದೆ ತರೋದು, ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುರು ಸೇವೆ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟಿಕ್ಯುಲಸ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ನೋ ಕ್ಲೂ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. Frustrated, tomorrow morning I will ask Guru, enough is enough. So then he asks, Guru, I have stayed for 4 years now, but there's no inclination to impart the teaching to me. When are you going? So in the morning when you go for the bath, just follow me, no talking, to the river. They go to the river, just follows the river. Then now dip inside the river. Okay, it does 3 dips. The third dip, what Guru does, holds the Shishya's head and keeps him underwater. Then Shishya says, okay, now something is going to happen. Good that I asked the question. Now he is going to change or start teaching.
Underwater is thinking all this.
He's thinking all this. Okay, now something is
underwater ಉಳಿತಿರೋ ಸಾಯ್ತದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸರಿ ಸರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ 20 seconds, 30 seconds, no loosening of the grip. He start getting panicky. ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಉಸಿರಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಗುರು ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಜೀವ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಂತ he springs out when he becomes so restless and breathless. Comes out and says, you want to kill me, why did you do this? I was asking for something which I was rightfully entitled to. Then Guru says, your need, quest for knowledge, when it equates your quest to take a breath, which happened right now, then come to me. Wow. I will teach.
Fantastic.
So that if it is like, okay, ನಾನು ಆಯಿತು ಮುಗೀತು, ಡಿನ್ನರು ಮುಗೀತು, ಡೆಸರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದು ವೇದಾಂತ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ ಕೇಳೋಣ, ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವೋಂಟ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಹಾಬಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ದು, ಓಕೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಗೀತಾನು ಒಂದು ಮುಗೀತು ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ wanting it as the only thing in life. That Sharanagati is very important. Again, just to go down to Sharanagati, don't think like it's some Sanskrit word. Understand. This is what happened to Arjuna in the first chapter. Whole of first chapter in Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He keeps on crying. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, I have to fight all these people. All are they are my relatives only, my brothers only. These are my brothers. Like that. Correct. Krishna will not utter a word. Just listen. Like that Guru who does not utter a word till he sees the Shishya is breathless. Eventually Arjuna will come out of that feeling of Krishna's friend, Krishna's person who has played with, to a feeling that he is that ultimate only way out. He is knowledgeable, he is my only way out. Like he eventually surrenders. Now I am surrendering to you. You tell me how. Daritos. When it comes to that stage, then he starts. From the second chapter, 11th verse, he starts telling us.
Which is actually when the Gita starts.
Actually when the Gita starts.
Correct.
It's like that. We should all go through some form of Vishada. And unfortunately, what we teach our kids nowadays is like, okay, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ ನೀನು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶೀತ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾರಿಂದ ಇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂಬ್ರೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡು. So even one drop protected environment. Yeah. Then talk about allergens because they were not exposed in childhood.
Correct.
So all this happens because overprotected environment. And always success. First year, sack race, first prize. There will be 20 events, and then In each event, some kid or the other will get a prize. And in there's a group dance, all 30 people in the class will be on stage. There's no competition scene till they come to
you have to be equal.
equality. So up to 10th standard or 12th standard, till they hit their exams proper, they would not have seen what a failure means. So
Like my dad used to always tell, you should always play one game, not to become a champion. You should learn how to be a good loser.
correct.
Most of the problems in life is happening because they don't know how to lose and accept a failure.
Was
They
telling
take it
that
very personally.
success is the greatest poison. I was telling you.
Correct,
that.
you made that statement.
Yeah.
Success is the greatest poison.
poison. Once
Ayo,
you get
that was
you
quite
keep
a-
on succeeding, there is no occasion where to stop and introspect. You're the boss. Whatever you touch upon turns into gold. So then there is no way you won't live.
That's why many of these successful people, suicides is the same.
Yes.
One person doesn't give one movie, they think that they have become a failure or whatever. That person, somebody was, what is that, Instagrammer, she was some influencer or something like that. Just because she started losing views, she committed suicide.
See, so much.
Andre, I am not important or I am not whatever it is. It's crazy. It's relating to this, Alva.
So it's a mental health aspect of
Howದು?
it. They say genius. You have heard about the origin of the term genius.
ಇಲ್ಲ
You have heard of genie.
Genie award. ಅದು Aladdin.
Genie. Genie is that kind of something which is supernatural, which gets into my body and makes me do something. It goes out of my body, then I am back to my normal.
Oh.
So in medieval times, genius was given a term which had such an important mental health aspect to it. That when somebody was told to be genius, it means like he gets possessed by that extra talent for that period. When that genius aspect of it is kept aside, like a dress, when he goes back to sleep, he's a normal human being like anybody else. So this was the structure, societal structure those days. When people call now genius means you're a genius 24 hours a day.
24/7.
Yeah. If
you can't afford failure.
You can't afford failure. You can't afford to be
And the way the parents drill the children like that, it becomes actually...
Even for the celebrities. You can't afford to expose your face without makeup.
Very true.
So if there was an option, a kind of vent for people to say that this is not me, this is because I get possessed with that ability during that period when I am acting, when I am doing, when I am talking, or when I am doing neurosurgery. Then I can come out of it some parts of the day and be normal. So
that's what happened to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he kept on drugging himself because
he has to be that way always, 24 hours. Correct. So if people realize that it's one aspect of me, again here Vedanta helps. Your true nature is something beyond the cloak what you wear, the strong suit what you wear. If you are able to differentiate that, discrimination of this, you are different from what people perceive you are, whether you are a celebrity or a school kid, then that extra burden of acting out to the needs of the society and the environment 24 hours a day won't be there.
But don't you think that's what is needed for success? Everybody says, you won't be successful. Whatever the success is, I don't know what success is.
Wear that cloak and do that. As long as you remember that you have to take it out when you sleep.
So you have said two opposite things. At least I have. One, you say success is a poison. On the other side, you say you do whatever you want to do to achieve whatever you want to achieve, but like the dance, but doing it for them.
Yes.
So, I mean, both look needed.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to stay together. Yes. Why is that?
One is because...
have I understood? I mean, is that the right question?
Yeah, right. So, I am telling you the method to succeed.
Okay.
As well as I am telling you the inevitability of the need for failure to go further. So, one is about success. So, that's needed because to gain the audience, people, if I don't talk about success, if I talk about failure, everybody will switch off this podcast and go back to succeed in other fields of life.
But that's most important, Komal.
True.
What not to do.
Yeah. So now one is you succeed. That's why again I am highlighting the importance of Sanatana Dharma, where it gives what is needed to every aspect of human life. It says how to succeed. It says, Krishna says, Arjuna, how you have to succeed in war. But he also says, like, utilizing this, your failure to grapple with the reality, you get into the next dimension.
What's the next dimension?
Next dimension is to inner exploration. That's the wound which is inflicted upon Arjuna at that moment when he felt the need of Sharanagati, to know further your true nature, when he fell at the feet of Krishna. So that
wound was important.
Wound is important. That's a failure.
But why do you say that? Actually,
Like
wound is a very dangerous, negative, bad word. No?
Particularly for surgeons.
Oh, exactly. And
So-
infected wound is even worse.
Rumi is a very famous Sufi saint.
Correct.
You would have heard about
Correct.
Rumi.
Mm.
Mystic, Sufi mystic.
Mm.
He says in one place, wound is the place where truth enters you.
Wow.
Wound is
Repeat.
Wound is the place where truth enters you.
Fantastic.
Meaning, like, if your body is intact, where will truth enter when it's all success and all makeup?
All the cloak is there.
The cloak is there. So the truth, the reality to enter you. So like that essence of your own which is there outside and inside, which is the same what we are telling Tatvamasi. If that knowledge has to enter you, there should be a wound. That's when people will start exploring. And
To heal the wound.
to heal the wound or to open up the wound to such an extent that the skin does not exist. That border does not exist between you
Got it.
not you.
Now I get it.
You and not you is something which does not
It's
exist.
artificial.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the
Got
eventual
it.
thought process is to mix up everything and be one with the universe.
That is
Ram-
Aham Brahmasmi.
Yeah. You have links with Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, that Ramakrishna met. So this one famous analogy, story given by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Once, a salt doll, a doll made of salt. Imagine that. Salt doll, it was conscious. It was
We had gone to the salt lake in Bolivia. Everything is salt there.
Yeah,
The
like
wall
that.
is salt.
True, even the
Yes.
salty,
Just
ice
table
igloos
salt,
and-
ಗೋಡೆಗಿಡೆಲ್ಲ salt. We can
ice
cast-
nallu ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Ice
ಹೌದು.
igloos also they
ಹೌದು.
do like that. So this is a salt doll. It goes to the guru and says, I want to know my true nature. Then nobody will explain. I want to know my true nature. I want to know about the ocean. They say I have come from ocean. I want to see how deep it is. Then nobody explains that, and it goes to the sea and falls off into the sea to explore how deep is the ocean.
And it becomes one of the ocean.
Imagine what will happen as it goes down deeper and
Dissolves.
deeper. It becomes one with the ocean.
Correct. What an explanation.
So
Correct.
this is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gave an example of
Wow.
that salt doll trying to measure the depth of the ocean. That's how our inner exploration will be.
Amazing.
If you
Wow.
start that journey of exploring, knowing ourselves, and fall into the ocean, we'll dissolve in that ocean.
No ego.
You won't
at that time.
exist.
Correct,
No
nothing.
you. No
There's
you.
No you.
you.
That's right. There's no you. Where ego? Correct. That's right. No you.
And at that stage, permanent peace, security, and happiness is there everywhere. It's there, just out of the ocean, everything comes, and into the ocean,
But
everything
if I'm not
dissolves.
there, then why permanent peace, happiness? I'm just asking you a counter question. ನಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ, if the Sharira of Dr. Sharan doesn't exist, and
So
I've gone one with the universe, then I mean, I thought I wanted to be me and have peace and happiness.
Yeah, me means what? So the question
Whatever,
is,
I don't know. I mean, right
yeah,
now I'm in
Ramana-
that whole.
Ramana's way of this quest, Ramana Maharshi, is exactly that. So now you say, you want peace, security, and happiness. Now tell me, who is that one who wants peace, security?
Me.
Me is
Sharan.
what? Sharan. Sharan is what? The name. Or is it the body?
I'm not sure. I know it's not the body. Something beyond the
It's
body.
Okay, is it the brain? So we all ರಾತ್ರಿ ಇಡೀ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಕೇಳಿದ
ಇಲ್ಲ. It's
Brain
not
ಅಲ್ಲ
that.
ಅದು.
No, it's not. So I
It's
don't know.
not brain. Okay, then it's that emergent property of the brain, like that wheel which turned on itself. Emergent property.
It's a soul, huh? I don't know.
Soul, what is
You
that?
got me fixed right now with that question.
So who is that me who is wanting peace, security, and happiness?
I honestly, no, I don't know the answer.
So if that me can exist outside the brain and can see it objectively, like that patient who can see his own brain getting operated, then he must be outside that brain, that physical entity.
Correct.
Then it is in that EEG waves what Dr. Mohan Rao told that day. No, that's just a representation.
Correct.
Then did that person who is asking for permanent peace, what was he doing when you were fast asleep? Was he there?
I
To
assume
remember-
he's there.
To remember that he had a good sleep?
I assume he was there.
He was there.
Correct.
Then who was that? Then who was that? Who is asking? So that's the way of exploration of Ramana Maharshi.
Okay.
Me. Who is that me?
Who is
Just
the me?
keep on ruminating on that thought.
Okay.
It's not an answer which can be given like.
So you're leaving me with the question.
Yeah, like a chat GPT guess. Okay, me means this.
See, today's world, Komal, is
Yeah.
instant gratification.
Yeah.
ನೀನು ಈ ತರ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I'll beat you up. What is it? Because the moment I send a message in WhatsApp, I need green tick, blue tick. Blue tick ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there's something system is not working, the network is not working, or whatever it is.
I can't give you an answer here. It's a question and it's a lifelong quest. But one thing I can assure, because I have seen it from the other end, that day when you realize the answer, you'll realize that peace, security, and happiness, eternal happiness. It's some assurance from me. It's like those 5 points which landmark assures. So like a promise, which looks so
Exciting.
audacious on the first day.
Yeah.
This is the promise from Vedanta I gave. So that you keep on exploring. And the way is, it may, as I said, like it's not dedicating 5 minutes, half a day, half an hour, once every week. It's not like exercise. Keep getting into this material. Just show that quest and keep on. I give example of cards, playing cards.
Okay.
Keep on picking whatever comes, like that. So next, my turn. Take one more. Like one more book, one more Ramana Maharshi, one more aspect, one more way, one more neurosurgeons, this thing, one more scientific journal. And try adjusting to your logic, whether this makes sense to me. And if it is not fitting, throw it back. Don't keep it. For that moment, at that year, in that year of your life, if it's not making sense.
But it's not that it's useless. That may fit some other time.
Some again, same card will come.
Correct.
Card will come again.
True. Next hand. Correct.
Yeah, but just it's not fitting to your logic at that moment. That's why the Vedantic exploration, they say, is about Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti.
Okay.
The way of acquiring knowledge is this. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Shruti is the eternal truth which are written down in books, like in Vedas or Gita. That Shruti. Shruti technically means Vedas only. Yukti is your logic. Whatever is said there should be relevant today and appeal to my logic today. Otherwise, you won't take.
Correct. Tomorrow is different.
Tomorrow is different, and even today, if it is something old, it's not fitting to my this thing, then I won't take it.
Correct.
I'll keep the card. Anubhuti is your experience. It should conform to my experience of whether it's scientific or this thing. Is it actually happening? If say if ETA is 12 minutes, actually did I reach at 12 minutes? If it is not fitting to my experience, from next time I won't believe Google.
Correct.
Correct. So
Oh,
if all these three match only, you will believe something. And that provision is given this way of study, which is in the Sanatana Dharma. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Like that, the way is to keep all this. And none of this is question. You have to question. Unless you question, like how we had a lot of questions today. We are not believing an iota of it without proper questioning and confirming to our experience and logic.
So how do these purusharthas fit into this whole scheme of things, in the sense that
ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥ. So that's such again like
in a sense,
ahankara.
I'm just trying to see
Yes.
how those four,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
what is it?
Purusharthas.
Dharma, kama,
Artha,
Artha,
moksha.
how to achieve this
Yes.
permanent peace, happiness, whatever. Is that a part of this? Is that a vehicle? Is that a toolkit? What is it all about?
Purusharthas are human endeavors.
Okay.
ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಥರ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥ. ನಂಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಎ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್. ಊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ 20 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೈ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್. ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸೇ. ಸೊ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎನಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಎಂಡೆವರ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೂ is put into these four entities: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Kama, moksha and artha we regularly face every day. Kama is the desire. ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದು ಹೊಸದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಇನ್ನೋವಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಹೊಸ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಅಥವಾ ಇದ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕದ್ದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾರ್ತಾ ಇದನ್ನಂತೆ, ಸೊ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆಗೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕಾಮ, ದ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಮ. ಅರ್ಥ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಯು ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, FD ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಇದ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಸಖತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ.
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವ್ರ ಕಾಮನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಕಾಮ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರ ಕಾಮ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಮ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ.
ಸೊ ಅದು ಅರ್ಥನೂ ಹಂಗೇನೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕಾಮ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಇವತ್ತು ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ, ನಾಳೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಜೇಬಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅರ್ಥ, ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಧರ್ಮ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ, ದ ಮಾರಲ್ ಕಂಪಾಸ್, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ರನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿನ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಟು ಬಿ ಕೋ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಧರ್ಮ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಮೆಟ್ರೋನಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಧರ್ಮ. ಯಾಕೆ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಧರ್ಮ.
ನಾವು ತಿರುಪತಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಹತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಧರ್ಮೋ ರಕ್ಷತಿ ರಕ್ಷಿತ ಅಂತ.
ಹೌದು. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆ ನಂಗೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಜಾಗ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಹಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ಇಸ್ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಕುರುಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಧರ್ಮಂ ಕುರು ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಧರ್ಮ ಮಾಡುವಂತ.
ಹೌದು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಧರ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮಾರಲ್ ಕಂಪಾಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಒಳಗೊಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೇಲ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಕತ್ತಿ ಮಸಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಅದು ಬರೀ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್. I had our neuroscience teacher used to tell this. Human beings are the only animals who can show something and feel something. ಒಬ್ಬಡಿ ಮಗ ಬಂದಾಡು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ತೋಡ ಏನೋ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆನೋ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಿ ಕೋಪ ಅಂತ ಇವಾಗ ಬಲ ಅಲ್ಸೋದು. ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬರೇನೆ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದು.
ಸೊ ಅದು ಧರ್ಮ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ peaceful coexistence. That's what is called dharma. It's not religion. Again, we have to very clearly differentiate between dharma and religion. Namdu Hindu dharma. That's the dharma is a way of life.
That's the problem with people. People connect it there and then get stuck with all this stuff.
It's like it's a Western thought process where religion is given as an entity, a structure, kind of hierarchy, a kind of control. ಅದು ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಡಾಗ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್. ಧರ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ.
That's why Sanatana Dharma, it's a way of life ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Correct. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಏನು,
you can't say Hinduism. That's why they're trying to box it and say this that.
ಸೊ ಈ ಧರ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಕಾಮ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗುರುರಾಜ ಕರಜಗಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ವೆರಿ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ orator who has a lot of this. In one of the talks he says Artha and Kama is kept within the confines. ಧರ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನೊಳಗೆ, within the boundaries of dharma and moksha, your Artha and Kama should be there. You should not transgress this. Otherwise, there is no limit to your Kama or desires or your Artha. There is no end to it.
No limit and no.
As long as it is.
Chaukat is the perfect word actually.
You have as much as you want in your bank balance, as long as it is accommodating and not eating up to the next locker in bank. ಎಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಇಟ್ಕೋ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅವನು ಇರ್ಲಿ ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಕೋ
ಅವ್ನು ದಪ್ಪ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಸೀಟ್ ಅರ್ಧ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಒಂದು ಸೀಟ್
ಕೈ ಬೇರೆ
ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಸೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಹೆಂಗ ಇದಾಗ್ತದೆ
ಧರ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನೊಳಗೆ. ಸೊ ನೌ ದಿಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. Now you have seen all human endeavors, whatever you can think of. Think of anything. I want to get a Nobel Prize. I want to build a school. I want to build a huge hospital, big rehab center. I want to have 100 branches everywhere. I want to have a YouTube channel with 1 million followers. Everything falls into these three only, whether it's for artha or kama or dharma. Then, is there anything which a human can do which does not fall into these categories?
I mean, everything falls into one of these three. At least from my current knowledge of my current thing, that's all I can see.
So now why this is then Purusharthas? There is one more thing called moksha. They are moksha sikku.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋದು.
ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ
Then you are desiring to go somewhere. That's again kama, no?
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದಪ್ಪ ನಾನು.
ಅದು ಡಿಸೈರ್ ತಾನೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Actually you're right.
Then it's kama. Then what is it? It's not moksha.
So your desire for moksha becomes kama. Hey, you confuse ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. You are fully confusing me.
So there are only three.
You're right actually. That means it should not be a desire.
Should not be desire. So then what is that fourth entity? Vamana story I have heard, no?
I mean, I have heard, but I think I should hear it from you.
ಮೂರ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಫುಲ್ ಭೂಲೋಕ,
ಸ್ವರ್ಗಲೋಕ
ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗ್ದೋಯ್ತು, ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದು ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ eventually it comes to that only exploration of your own self and introspection of your own self. That's a symbolic meaning in Vamana story also.
ಹೌದಾ? I never realized this.
So that aham when he
ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಆಯ್ತು ಅವನಿಗೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಅಹಂಕಾರ is for everybody. We are also in the same boat.
Correct.
So unless we think of what is that entity which is not measurable below or above, then the only place left is annihilating yourself.
Annihilating yourself. So
like that salt doll
you're using. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, like the salt doll which gets annihilated. Did it get annihilated actually? It was there earlier. It as
came out from the ocean, went back to the ocean.
It is again
ಕೆರೆಗೆ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತವ್ರು ಅದೇ ತರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು.
ವಾಪಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. Then where did it go? ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. But the possibility, the desire that I want to know the depth of the ocean, I want to know my origin, was that aspect of Purushartha which is valid desire, which is given a different name called moksha. And that need, that thought, that inquiry is again bestowed upon only human beings and no other organism.
Yet we don't care about it. We are not looking at it. We're chasing this and chasing that and killing people and whatever it is. Killing means not even physically, verbally, emotionally, psychologically. All in this whole guise of success, which is money and which is not true. Artha kama.
Temporary.
So, viewers, what Komal is saying is not that artha and kama, correct me if I'm wrong, is not immoral or unethical. As long as in the chaukat, in the thing he does with dharma, then in that if you do, it is fair, you should have it. He's not saying money is bad, wrong, desires are bad and wrong, but not at the cost of.
Exactly.
Correct, alva? That's what you're saying. And eventually, moksha is nothing to do with, it's not opposite, it's not against, it's not anything else. It's just a state of mind that you are in or a state of body you're in.
It's a state of exploration.
Where,
a quest. And
so can I be in a state of moksha and still do these three?
Absolutely.
So can you give me an example? I'm struggling with that. Yeah. Because everybody says that's the last. brahmacharya, idu adella hogbitalla hogbitalla.
Like that small kid.
Himalayas hogbeko, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲ.
Like that small kid who is playing, dancing in her home to the music. Oblivious that mother is taking a photo or video of her in the background. She's just dancing.
Correct.
Same thing she will do on the stage also.
That is the moksha. If you do the same thing on stage, oblivious to what around you, fantastic.
You're doing it's like suppose there is a 5-match series. India, Australia series. Test series, those days. So now it's happening in Australia, and first 3 matches India has won. So out of 5, 3 is already, it's obvious that India has won
On the
series.
series.
On the match day, 4th match day, how will India's behavior be or attitude be when they go to the
Because
stadium?
they have won the series.
They have won
So
the
they'll play freely. They're not afraid of failure or losing. I mean, that's what I see.
They have already won, but they are in full spirits. They will.
Correct.
Winning or losing does not matter.
Does not matter.
But still, they will play to win. So in that state, once you are there, every day
It's a good
will be
experience.
like that 4th match when you have already won the series.
And we can create it ourselves. You don't have to actually be there to be.
Yes.
Alva. I can make the, I mean, see, again, if I understand. So I can play the first match like a 4th match. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
So that you're there, you're self-expressed, you do what you want, and the result will come because you're playing with that, not that the fear of failure at the back of my mind or fear of proving something to somebody.
That's what Osho says somewhere, that like your human birth itself is a goal. You're already there. Right from the first day of life, whatever you do is out of joy, out of fulfillment.
Amazing.
It's not like after you get
And as a child, that's what we do. We are joyless or
10
joyful
ಲಕ್ಷ
all the time.
ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿರ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಅದು
ಹೌದು
10 crores ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಗುರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
10 crores ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ನು ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಅವನೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತಗೊಂಡ.
Correct. Correct.
So
There's no end.
there's no end.
There's no end.
So that until you realize on the right on the day you were born, that itself is the goal. You have already reached it.
Amazing.
Then every day is a play.
It's a joy.
It's a joy.
Exactly. So you help me do that, yeah. I'm honest. I'm really honest. I'm really honest.
Decode
I put
the
that,
mind,
yes,
discover
because
the
I was
self.
struggling to find out, I had a lot of these pieces in place,
Yeah.
but yet it was not falling into a sort of a,
Yeah.
it is still like,
It's possible.
like this. I think this conversation, honestly, Komal,
Yeah.
forget about the podcast, forget about the fact that we did what we did. For me personally, it has impacted. I've really got clarity. I've got it,
Some opening up of questions and clarifications.
Yes. And I mean,
and
see, the key is I'm already there.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things you've given me. So I don't have to, ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇದಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಾಗತ್ತೆ. See, you have demystified this whole thing,
Yes.
debunked all this fundas that is there.
Yes.
And you say, where you are, be who you are.
Yeah.
And be at
And
peace.
mind you, like we are talking about this, our existence and our own well-being, mental well-being, when we are working with brains of people, like
I know.
people who are suffering because of inflictions on the nervous system, it's not something which we are just imagining or just
Exactly.
extrapolating
And we
something.
see the suffering
because-
every day.
Yeah.
Every
And we are
day.
seeing the relevance of this line of thought process in today's day,
I agree.
which can make a change in our own
I agree.
lives as well as our own patients'
Yes.
lives.
And
Then it will be naturally be useful
and
for
the energy will spread.
anybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So it's not off with the present day thinking. It's not off with what is possible with our robotic surgery or with artificial intelligence. So it is relevant, highly relevant today. And good I could touch upon those.
Yeah, I think you did a
points.
fantastic job, let me be honest. But we still have one unfinished agenda. You had told me that story of Ashtalakshmi girl, or so-called, being treated as Ashtalakshmi or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And then you showed me the pictures. When you said Ashtalakshmi, it sounded divine. When I saw the pictures, there was no divinity in that. There was just, struggle and this one.
Unfortunate small child
Mm.
from Bihar,
Mm-hmm.
so which appeared in papers those days,
Mhm.
and the people could somehow bring her to help.
Mm.
So she was being projected as God because she was born with 8 limbs.
8 limbs.
8 limbs. So
Huh.
now it's a small kid, girl child. So
Hmm.
people nearby, they started calling her Ashtalakshmi.
Ayyo.
So puja madodu, so give
Hmm.
some offerings.
Mm.
So she was taken from village to village, town to town, then district to district. Then it was a way of a kind of amusement, kind of reverence, kind of a little bit of money making for the family.
Mm.
For few years, Later, the family parents realized like it's going nowhere. Child is growing. Now we should have a plan. She was born with 2 hands like how we have, and 2 legs, and then another 4 limbs which are below. And when we saw her here,
So
we
like
realized
picture, what you're showing in the
yes,
picture.
yeah, it's not just 8 limbs. It's because there were 2 entities there. So it
And
was a conjoined twins. We have seen twins.
Correct.
So like that, 2 twins joining together one part of the body. Also sometimes like Siamese twins. We have seen conjoined twins. It can be conjoined in the head, conjoined in the back, conjoined in the end to end like that. Then sometimes what happens, the other child will become defunct without a head, but only the limbs will be there. So in this is such a rare case in which the limbs are there, the head is not there, but it's another twin which is stuck to the lower end. In the region of pelvis, the other 4 limbs are there. And one of the, but the other side is also partly functional. One of the kidney was on the other side, one kidney is on this side, blood vessels are interconnected. So it was a huge
But child
surgical.
brain was completely
Brain
alright.
was fully alright. She was playing, she was normal, but she had to be crawling.
Correct.
Otherwise, somebody has to lift. So now child is growing. They had a real practical problem. So they also sought medical attention, and this was many years ago when Sparsh Hospital was there in our campus. Then there was a combined team effort by multiple teams. Narayana, Sparsh, we all got together because pelvic floor had to be repaired, orthopedic procedures had to be done, and the kidney and intestines had to be separated because other twin is not existing, it's not functional. So we had to safeguard her and recreate her parts. So then the spinal cord for neurosurgeons, it is continuous with the other side. It is tethered and continuous with the defunct cord on the other side. So all that we had to
You don't know which was her cord, which was the other side cord.
Series of major surgeries, and that was separated. So these are some cases, instances.
And the child is okay now.
Child is okay now. Child could walk and slowly get back to school. So now that's a success story of surgery.
Amazing.
So one
you
is,
can see the pictures.
one aspect is like you mentioned. Our first thought will be to see me, her as 2 separate entities in which how cruel fate can be. Correct. And how difficult it can be for some people for whatever.
And they're poor probably.
Fate. Yeah, they're poor too. That's how it can inflict and how we can help them and get that feeling of doing something, a kind of fulfillment. That's one aspect. The second aspect is about if it can happen and if it can, person can exist that way. When you are doing that other sort of our line of thinking, which we are thinking about, defining our self. For her, what was self? If her self ended till there, then what about that other part which was always with her right from her birth?
Correct.
So these are the other questions which extrapolates from that, not just that solace of helping poor child. It's taking an example to see why my body is not me. She was the same. And even we see Siamese twins, conjoined twins, where craniopagus, we call.
I know. Yeah. In fact, Deepak separated one in AIMS, Delhi,
yes.
remember.
That was a highly complex.
Correct.
Where even the venous sinuses
were
fused to one another. Very complex surgery. So there, even the brain, when it is separated, which were acting as one, now it has to act as 2. So now where is that feeling of I? Is it I or is it I?
Correct.
Which I are we talking
Which is my
about?
leg, which is that leg, correct.
Yeah, I want to comb my hair, I want to eat food. So both together, how they are. So these are the hard questions where we start thinking about, okay, why it is not me? Me is not my body. So that's something which we start thinking about. These are all scientific questions, spiritual questions, a quest about.
But I think when you see things like that, these questions are more, because you realize that there's so much going on and that something beyond us at the end of the day.
It's true.
Amazing. So we come to the last section, which is how does Vedanta, which includes the Gita, the neuroscience connect with AI. This is an intense, intelligence, and how does I and all of this intelligence blend with that, and how can AI learn from, especially the weather? Is there any connection at all?
Not a day passes nowadays without we getting bombarded with artificial
Not
intelligence.
an hour probably. I don't know about a day.
Yeah,
I think
not
every hour
not
somebody is
an hour.
talking.
Yeah, it will come in your WhatsApp.
Something or the other is going on.
Artificial intelligence and robotics.
Correct.
These two things have bombarded us like anything. Unlike anything we have seen. We
Correct.
have seen TV, we have seen antenna TV, we have seen internet coming, we have seen
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp.
which took years to hit us. But this is something which is hitting us in the matter of months.
Correct.
And every month, every day, we are seeing something new. So, but on the generic term, if we just hold our breath and analyze, it's an extension of what is happening in the scientific evolution over time. Imagine and get into those days where the strongest person in the village was regarded, valued high because he was strong. He could hit 10 people.
True.
And he was valued because of his muscle power. So an army, two provincial states in old India, if you can imagine,
how many elephants
was measured about by how much strength of their army. We have so many people who are strong enough, soldiers. The other animals came later, like where they had an assistance of the other animals like horses, cavalry, elephants, camels. So then the measure of value, worthiness was the muscle power. Whether later it's not just the army, even when it comes to creating things, creating the early forms of maybe pottery or some jewelry or even some utensils where everything was made by hand, even watches to that this thing. It came to the muscle power, the actual person doing,
correct,
which was valued the most. When mechanization started happening, industrial revolution, early 1900s, 1920, 1940, that area, where this started with mills for the creating reams of cloth,
correct,
fabric, which was done by hand, it got converted to this thing. What was considered as the asset, the muscle, got converted to valuing the machines, whether it is weaponry. When you have a Firangi, you can do what 10 people can do or 100 people can do. So that notion of physical strength got delegated from humans to machines. One aspect of what humans can do, which was only human, got converted to it's delegatable. That thought came. For decades later, the next revolution of delegating other aspect of what remains human, that's our intellect, was slowly happening. We had calculators, calculating machines, the early Turing's machine. Again, it was again during World War only.
Correct.
But it was slow. But with the increase in computational power, so this computer started being capable of doing what complex human brain can do in a quicker way. That's when when I say extension, how muscle power got delegated to machines, intellectual power slowly start delegating to machines.
Interesting.
So that's when our calculators we know, small computers, our phone memory, even our earlier phones also had memory, Nokia phones, button phones also had some form of memory profile and all those things, some songs, so like that. So then...
and phone numbers.
Yeah. So that kind of the memory started delegated. So this is how it's a natural evolution which has happened. Now that's about the chitta aspect, which was earlier, the memory, which are floppy disk, CD, everything. Later what started was the computational ability, like an Excel sheet or spreadsheet, where you can compute, we can give a formula and get out of it. So that started coming. Again, the extension of it is to delegating, not just to the generation of thoughts, what was a exclusive process within human brain also started getting outsourced to the machines. This is where artificial intelligence in its new form is coming. If you see in the broad sense, AI can be divided into 3 distinct developmental phases.
Okay.
What we are working today is with narrow AI.
Okay.
Narrow AI.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು?
Narrow AI ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ whatever we are, you think anything about AI which is possible today, everything put together is called narrow AI. It
Narrow
has
means ಚಿಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲ?
how
ಹಾ.
whatever we are seeing. So now you just imagine what we are coming to next.
That's what I'm looking at the net example you gave me. Is that the right thing, wrong thing that I'm trying to do?
So there's whatever we are working today is narrow AI because it is amenable to us and it does not have its own character.
Okay.
Whereas the next stage is called general AI. General AI, we are reaching there very fast. And maybe very shortly, in few years' time, or maybe tomorrow morning, we wake up and hear that general AI has come. Not generative AI, general AI. Okay, a general AI is different. So here, general AI means it's the culmination, combination of all intellect of all the people everywhere, all the information what is available everywhere as of today, put into one box and make it accessible to the computational capacity of the computer. It's like you ask about patient X in some corner in Africa. It will have access right of
If it's online, it
Yeah.
you can.
If some rare congenital condition, if we ask about it, it will have the information gathered in the internet all around the world all these years, throughout the years in one go. So that's the general AI. It will have immense capacity which can only be possible if all the population come together. Means its intelligence will be a combined intelligence of 8 billion people.
But don't you think Google, whatever is already happening, all these things?
That's only whatever is fed is there.
Okay. You are saying whatever is not online should also come online.
Yes,
yeah?
everything, yeah. Everything.
So there's nothing offline at all?
No, nothing offline.
Oh,
at all.
everything has to come on
Yes,
system.
yes.
Which obviously is not there now. Correct.
Not there. And that one is some Microsoft or some other companies. They say it is made, it's done, but it's kept under wraps because it's so very dangerous for mankind. That will also have questioning capacity about, okay, now if Sharan has asked this question, what is expected of him to ask the next question based on his past questioning style. So that kind of, so it will have it will be comparable to human
correct, because
reasoning.
We do that as a human being. We do that.
Yes.
Why is he asking this question? I can answer the next question.
The third level is super AI. Super AI is the biggest threat to mankind as of today, where the machines will have the capacity to go beyond what humans can think, to have a character of their own, to have, when they say aham, it will have that also. Now we saw chitta, that's memory which was there in our mobile phones. Then came the thought process.
Buddhi.
Thought process is what the generative this thing. It will give 10 questions, 10 answers. That is manas. Now buddhi is to select one of that, which right now we are okaying it. Right now for a driverless car, unless we okay, it will not go. It will stop. Or if there's a red light and still you want to go, you can run and go. You can say, okay, I want to go.
Sorry.
But if you go beyond that super AI will not listen to you.
It keeps doing what?
Yeah, it keeps. Like for this ADAS and all, people are frustrated with ADAS, it seems. You remember that ADAS, that automatic, which brings back to the lane, the new technology in new cars.
Correct.
Because you are driving and you want to overtake, you take that side, haptics will push you back. so they every time it happens, they call and ask, it seems, how to switch it off. So they have built that you can't switch it off.
Oh,
That's the biggest handicap now. So now the more
it'll never happen in India then. It'll never click in India.
It's never click. That's why it's happening. So people, the selling point now is we don't have ADAS. So it has come to that because our Indian roads, it's not possible.
Correct.
So like that.
Not Indian roads. Indian mindset is our problem. I want to overtake.
So like this, when the machine overtakes, then those kind of ethical questions will come. I gave that example of V bifurcation, and you are in a driverless car and you are speeding at 100 kilometers. And if you go left, that road is closed and you will hit the wall and then potentially injure the driver. If you go to the other road, which is actually defunct, 5 kids are playing. Now, how will you put the algorithm in putting that scenario for a driverless car, whether to choose this or that? Will you value that person, drivers, because he's my driver, that car's driver? Because will you value the life of that person more, or those 5 kids on the street? Which direction should it take?
It's like the devil in the deep sea.
Yeah, it's much more.
Much more than that, correct.
So who is the devil here? So these are the ethical dilemma which brings in. And with super AI, right now you have the button. Right now for surgery, whether you are using a robot, in our robotic surgeries we do. Correct. But the button is with us. Like when I say if I don't say, if I can overrule that. Like Google Maps. Maps shows something, but you can still take a right turn, even though it shows it's red all through. That capacity is there, but with super AI we lose that. It will go. I'll go this way. So that's the biggest threat to mankind as of now, super AI, and we are going that way.
I don't know why. If it is actually, do they want to control us? These few companies which are making it, or what is that?
It has an immense economic benefit. One thing that's particularly general AI, and it's natural progression. You are progressing so fast you can't put brakes. That's why governments are coming together to say we have to go slow. Governments.
Yeah, we see that.
Yeah. But again, like with new kind of leadership everywhere in the world, particularly US, where they say, like, if it is for the benefit for the country, don't stop. For benefit for the country,
even if it's negative for the world, they don't care it.
Yeah. So like particularly now their algorithms are kept that way that you should not discriminate between race or between gender, like that, to keep it as like equal platform. But it will have some economic value to it. But what new governments are doing is, so if it is not beneficial, you don't try to allow non-discrimination. Let discrimination happen if it's good for the economy. So these are the new.
That's what vitamin M is more important than anything else.
New ways of the world, which is true. We are hearing news that don't try to make it.
That?
How to? So earlier, if you again these images, if you say, I want to see a soldier of Second World War, there was an equal probability or a proportionate probability of showing 8 white Western soldiers and 2 African soldiers. To give some sense of semblance of equal. Sometimes it was looking odd because there were not many, but it was there, inbuilt in the algorithms. Now with governments taking a stand, all this will vanish. We will never be able to, like Modi asked this thing, a simple question he asked.
Yeah,
you say about AI, so now you ask AI about create an image of a person writing in left hand.
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that.
He said it was a very stunning thing, and everybody started doing in their mobile phones, create an image of a left-hander drawing a picture of peacock or something. Invariably, everybody will get a result in which right hand is being used. That's because that's how algorithms are tuned to. Because 99.99% time, person will be right-handed. So whatever is fed shows. Correct. So like that, what is fed to AI and determines how it behaves.
Correct.
And if it gets into some rogue entity and it has a character of its own.
You're dangerous, Alva.
Very dangerous. And it's a representation of your scientific experiment of exploring the meaning of everything. If you're looking at a theory of everything, like in physics, people will think when you come to quantum mechanics, they are working towards a theory of everything. Singularity, they say, which will conform to all physical laws, can be explained by the theory of everything. In Vedanta also, this inquiry was there much ahead, where we are looking at a theory of everything. We are ambitious people, neurosurgeons. We are like, we don't want to take anything less. Okay, we don't want to take anything mundane. We don't want a hobby where I can hide myself in some meditation and be happy with it.
Correct.
I want the truth, and I want it in fullest. I want a theory of everything which will explain every bit what is available to my senses, what is not available to my senses. So what will be the first step of doing such an inquiry? What would be, if I want to explain everything, the workings of the world around me, past, present and future, with its laws, with whatever is existing, whatever is not existing today, thoughts, memories included, languages included, new technologies included. If everything has to be put into a crucible and to be observed under a microscope, to find out that formula which would explain, which can happen anything in future, that theory of everything, if you are looking at, and in that crucible you want to include everything what is available, you'll put, like that Vamana story I told, you'll put all galaxies in that. You just imagine your imagination is your this thing limitation. So you just imagine everything. It's just our object of inquiry. What all we are inquiring. For the thought experiment, you put everything outside, like that Vamana takes this thing, everything inside. Take out your specs, take out your this thing, take out your body, brain, mind, everything, memory. All that put together, if we can, in this thought experiment, if we can give a name for that, that's Om.
Wow.
So in the Vedantic inquiry literature, Om represents that which includes everything.
But like you said, we have no control. Somebody else will push it down our throat. We become the very dangerous.
So this will give us, again, like as when I told you about Ashtalakshmi, I told you about how we can negate our own selves not being our body. So that's easy to, once you see such a case, it's easy to relate, okay,
Correct.
now if half the body is chopped off, still me.
Correct.
You read that book, Still Me, is by that Superman. What's his name? Superman.
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher
The
Reeve.
first guy who had the spinal cord injury.
Yes, spinal cord injury.
Christopher Reeve.
His autobiography is called Still Me.
Correct.
Right, see, the front page you can see he's sitting on a wheelchair turning towards a cliff. The backside is shown. And the title is Still Me. So he's a Superman, superhero. After injury from here down, he's totally paralyzed.
He had a horse riding injury.
Yeah. And he is sitting on a wheelchair. And then...
he's on a ventilator, I think.
On a ventilator.
Portable ventilator.
Yeah. With that, he says, I am still me. Meaning, like, if you are not your this thing, anything below this, if you can say still me, then who is that telling still me?
Very interesting.
Yeah,
very
so
true.
now that body is not you. And second is like this other child about hemispherotomy I told.
Correct.
Where
so hemispherotomy is, tell them what a hemispherotomy is.
Yeah, hemispherotomy is we'll disconnect one half of the brain. With the other half. Because if it continues to have some short circuiting in one side, we'll have continuous seizure called epilepsy. Short circuiting is called epilepsy, continuous movement. This kid, she was some 1.5 to 2 years when she came from Assam side, had this kind of continuous seizures, non-stop, one side not working only. When we see one half of the brain was kind of shriveled and throwing this multiple electrical activity. Only way was to disconnect it from the rest of the brain. One way, either we can chop it off fully, one half inside nothing. But if you do that, what happens? That empty space, their blood will ooze and collect and cause problem, hemosiderosis. So what we do, electricity is the problem, Why to take out the brain? we will disconnect it. We will
Right.
disconnect the electrical circuitry fully. This is not connected to rest of the body. But we'll keep the tissue there with blood supply. That is hemispherotomy. If you do that, her seizures stopped. And she comes religiously once in a year, and we can see her development, how it happened. She started going to school, started dancing, playing.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So the brain still healed itself with
Brain
the
heals.
neuroplasticity.
Yeah, one half we have taken out. Neuroplasticity, rightly said. So
amazing.
you're not just your brain also. She smiles. She is a normal kid now. Seizure stopped. And she comes 3 days in train just to show me that she can dance.
Amazing.
Nice it is. She very nice
Amazing.
to see. How
In fact,
she's
there's a book by one Professor Norman Deutsch,
Hmm.
which is called The Brain That Changes Itself. In
Yes.
that, there's a story
Yeah.
where a girl up to the age of 16 was normal, everything was normal, no milestone issues, playing this, that, everything. At the age of 16, she got a headache.
Hmm.
And then, for what? There was routine headache. So they did a scan. They found that one half of the cerebral hemisphere was missing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the moral of the story is you can live with half a brain.
Yeah, same example.
Everything, exactly the same thing. Everything is on one side of the brain.
Yeah.
It is amazing what is possible. It's just amazing how the human body and the brain is designed.
So now
That's why when
we
I
are-
did Vikram Hudet's episode, we said the body is designed for surgeons.
Correct.
That's what I always tell people, it's like that.
So one is about the body not being us. Second is not being the brain. Then what remains? Is it the mind? Is it that intelligence which can be done by machine much better than what you are,
Correct.
which you think like your exclusive domain bestowed with that intelligence. That's why I am human. I think, therefore I am.
Mm.
Rene Descartes, those are very renowned philosophers.
Rene
of ages,
Descartes,
Rene Descartes. That thinking man you see,
Correct.
like how our yogic posture sitting in meditation in Western world, that symbolic representation of human thought process is that thinking man, like that statue you would have seen. That is by Descartes, who once sometimes said, "I exist. Who are you? What proves your existence, or what's your definition of presence? Is I think, therefore I am." He says, my ability to think defines that I am a human. So if you don't think, you are not a human. So patients on anesthesia won't think, patients in some kind of infarct won't think, but they're still me. It's there. And that thinking capacity now can be delegated to a computer like
machine.
AI. Still you. So then if you're not your body, not your mind, not your intellect, then what are you? Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, naham. This Adi Shankara told hundreds of years ago. Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, naham. So that is, we are not all this. Chidananda Rupam, Shivoham, Shivoham.
Correct. That I heard.
Yeah, so there's a whole Nirvana Shatakam, it's called.
It's called Nirvana
Everything.
Shatakam, Allah? Correct.
It's all negated. Comes to that, like I am that essential essence of everything. It's not just within my body, it's outside. As much as within me, as much as it's outside.
So when you're saying this, what's constantly been coming, a couple of times I didn't tell you, there's people who have this NDE, near-death experience. Is this that one? The people say exactly what happened to them. I saw him doing this. I saw him doing. The people have said who have come out of that. Alva, that means this is probably relating to the same thing that the person saw himself being
lifted up. And seeing my body being
correct, and then came down, and that fellow was giving CPR. They put this, they did this, they did that, and
scientific explanations about near-death experience as well as rebirth.
Correct, rebirth.
There, they are all scientific curiosities, but they are there. But again, it's still at that borderline between. It's the kind of proof that you are not that. You are not just that body or mind. But it does not explain anything beyond that.
Not yet.
Not yet. It means it will have some explanation, but for what purpose? Not for our purpose of our internal inquiry. And it helps only to think that it's not me. To negate.
Correct.
Neti is what they say is the way of Vedanta, to expose you to something and then negate. Okay, that's why you are not there. You show this girl with 8 limbs, you chop half of it and still she is the same. You take example of Christopher Reeves, that he is still him without spinal cord. So to show that you are not the body. And then you come to the brain and give examples of awake craniotomy, give examples of patient anesthetized, infarct, that girl with half brain not existing, and then you negate that you are not your brain. Then you negate you are not your intellect by giving examples of how artificial intelligence can do. How near-death experience or other kind of experiences you can take you till there, but that's not the absolute truth. Like that Neti Nesi is the way of taking you to the core of that question, like how you face that question when you think about something which is not dharma, artha, kama. You went to that fourth. So this is the way of Vedantic teaching.
Amazing.
We have to be in that path to reach there.
I agree. So why did you say conscious from OR to Om? What is the significance of Om in that whole conversation, in that statement of yours?
Om is a sacred symbol in Sanatana Dharma.
Correct.
Om.
Correct.
Om is in one way, we were doing Panchakosha Viveka. So the people from Ayurveda background will easily relate to that. Like we are negating this body, mind, intellect, like that step by step. Like an onion peel, we are peeling to reach our inner core. That's one way of reaching our inner core. Other way is called Avastatraya Viveka. Avastatraya Viveka is like I gave that example of train journey where I slept off and had a good sleep. Who was that Sakshi who was there, the witness who was there in my different states, which was Jagrata Avastha, that's a wakeful state, and Swapna Avastha, that's a REM sleep, and Sushupti, that's the deep sleep, non-REM sleep. Okay. So who was that? Who was in that Turiya? Who was the substratum of all these? Was existent in all that? Those three stages have a representation with the term A, U, Ma.
Oh, I see.
A, U, Ma. A for the Jagrata Avastha. U for the Swapna Avastha. That's the REM sleep. Ma is for the Sushupti Avastha. That's a deep sleep, non-REM. So these three combined together, that substratum which is present in all three, we are looking at.
Got it.
Avuma combined together becomes Om. Om. Some people will pronounce it as Aum, but you should not. It's Om.
I've heard some people
when
saying
when you mix it, it should be called as Om only. But if you can break down, this is the so that
some of them write it as AUM also.
That's why they write it as AUM also. But it should be pronounced as Om. So that's one thing. Then it's a representation of your scientific experiment of exploring the meaning of everything. If you are looking at a theory of everything, like in physics, people will think when you come to quantum mechanics, they are working towards a theory of everything. Singularity, they say, which will conform to all physical laws, can be explained by the theory of everything. In Vedanta also, this inquiry was there much ahead, where we are looking at a theory of everything. We are ambitious people, neurosurgeons. We are like, we don't want to take anything less. Okay? We don't want to take anything mundane. We don't want a hobby where I can hide myself in some meditation and be happy with it.
Correct.
I want the truth and I want it in fullest. I want a theory of everything which will explain every bit what is available to my senses, what is not available to my senses. So what will be the first step of doing such an inquiry? What would be, if I want to explain everything, the workings of the world around me, past, present and future, with its laws, with whatever is existing, whatever is not existing today, thoughts, memories included, language is included, new technology is included. If everything has to be put into a crucible and to be observed under a microscope, to find out that formula which would explain, which can happen anything in future, that theory of everything if you are looking at, and in that crucible you want to include everything what is available. You'll put like that Vamana story I told, you'll put all galaxies in that. You just imagine your imagination is your this thing limitation. So you just imagine everything. It's just our object of inquiry. What all we are inquiring? For the thought experiment, you put everything outside, like that woman takes this thing, everything inside. Take out your specs, take out your this thing, take out your body, brain, mind, everything, memory. All that put together, if we can, in this thought experiment, if we can give a name for that, that's Om.
Wow.
So in the Vedantic inquiry literature, Om represents that which includes everything. Why it's there? Why to include everything?
That's right.
It's just that first step of our imaginary thought experiment to explore it, to find out what's the essence of it. What's the formula? What's the theory of everything? So when I just say Om, I am just taking my thought to that thought experiment of that inner inquiry, which includes everything outside.
Got it.
What's the essence of everything? To have a code name for that everything put together, it's so vast and it requires so much of sentences to explain.
Correct.
Even
Paragraph,
to grapple.
maybe pages.
Yeah, grapple even what I said in the last 5 minutes.
Correct.
So the code name for that is Om. When you think of Om next time, you just think about it like the purpose of everything. Yeah, the purpose of why we are putting it into one bucket is for you as a subject, as an entity, as a witness to see that, keeping off of everything, including your body, as that witness. Where are you standing? If you put everything there, all galaxy, everything
the cosmos, universe,
everything
space,
is put
whatever
there.
you call it.
Everything is Om. Then where are you?
Nowhere. I don't know where I mean. Everything you put it. I was in the bucket.
Who are you? Then who are you? Think about it. So the answer lies there. Answer lies there.
I've heard how the galaxy, if you see the way it looks, if you go down to the cell network, it looks the same. So it's like a reflection of, it's actually like the star, this, that, whatever it is.
This inquiry is done. It's not new. It's not like I have some super intelligence and that's why we started in 21st century thinking about it. No.
Correct.
But when that, if we go to the past and see the scriptures, we see that entity is named as Om, not with an intention of giving a solution right now, but for you to help you to arrive at that solution yourself. It's not told by somebody you follow.
Correct.
But the name given for that everything is Om. You do whatever, you play cards and find out what is the logic which fits to your thinking. But play the game. Play the game.
Keep playing the game until
you find out.
Correct.
Don't give up. Where are you? And that's why that's the only extra thing what you have been bestowed. And that's the culmination of we don't know what all punyas we have done, and that's why we have in this form of human form. Utilize it for that, not for this artha, kama, which everybody does. Don't go away into oblivion as like nameless worms. Somebody says it like our Krishnamurti or somebody who says like we live 99% of us we live a life and just go away like nameless insects or like worms. Like that's what people will do. The same thing. All the bacteria does the same. The toxoplasma does the same for its life cycle, and we also do the same and go away. Then what extra? We are not utilizing that extra thing what we have. The thought of self-inquiry.
Got it. Perfect. I think, Komal, we had a fantastic conversation. Let me be honest. I think it's fantastic for me on personal level and definitely for our audience.
Thank you very much.
So before every good thing has to come to an end. Don't worry, we'll have more such chats as we go forward for sure. So any last words that you have as a starting point for anybody who's trying to get into this? You said there are 3 types of people who are trying to explore about the Gita or whatever it is. I think you should maybe end with that, so that's the right place for people to position themselves and say, what do I have to do next? And so that it's like a manual, as you said.
Today is Gita Jayanti, so it is worthwhile. Like, it is very valuable and it is having all the answers. And it is not by somebody who is blindly following because somebody told me. It's by a person who has seen in and out of life in various aspects, whether it's from the scientific angle, whether it's from the neuroscience angle as a neurosurgeon, or whether it is from somebody who is grappling with the new developments like artificial intelligence. So if two neurosurgeons who are into modern day medicine, who knows in and out of the brain and its workings, are so serious about it, there is something to it. Start with that there is something to it, there are answers, and it's for everybody's benefit, and we have seen where people getting benefited out of it to solve mundane to the highest problems of life and lead a joyful life, which is our essential nature. Okay, there are ways to it, and one way is to start exploring with the help of a guru.
Good.
Like I was telling about our structure.
Correct. I was going to ask you that. So who's your guru?
Yeah. So now
can you tell our audience about
we
that?
need to have a guru, and again, some people will have that feeling. Again, ahankara. Again, they say, my experience is my guru. Myself, I am myself my guru. Why should I have what's so special in that other being? But it's like a flame which has to burn. So like that, once the deepa, the wick is ready, but until it gets touched with the flame from outside, spark can't come from inside. It has to always come from outside. If you have to be shown your own self, you can see everything. A camera can take a picture of everything except one thing. What is it? A camera can take a picture of everything in this world, but
except itself, huh?
Except its own lens.
That's right. That's right.
Similarly, if you are object of exploration, your own self, then you need somebody's help.
Correct.
If something has fallen, show. For the eye, you have to show somebody only.
Correct. You can't see.
You can't see. Similarly, when your purpose of inquiry is, subject of inquiry is your own self, then you need some help. Absolutely. The person who gives that help is
a guru.
Called a guru.
And we know guru because as the neurosurgeons, we are clear, even after we pass, we have a mentor who holds our hand.
That's a generic, general understanding. Correct. That's where people get used. You can be a talented for various reasons. Some kids will have very talented in music right from their birth. So we will not mix up that kind of guru shishya structure to this kind of spiritual guru, which is very different.
Very different. Got it. Thanks for that. Thank you for that clarity.
Because otherwise we get, it's not an extension of that analogy. It's a dimensional difference to that. Okay. Because it's like that lamp being lit, for which you need, essentially you need a spark.
Yeah, I think that's more appropriate.
Yeah. And over a period of time, when you are in that sphere, you will have a group of people who are like-minded. So we have this group called Param Vedanta, with Dr. Timmappa Hegde. I was fortunate to be in that.
I know we have also have some.
He is our teacher and mentor, and who took us to the path. And then our guru, who is in that structured way, gave us teaching, was Swami Paramarthananda from Chennai. He is a kind of freelancer guru who is very well renowned. As a shishya of Dayananda, Swami Dayananda. Now he is in Chennai. And other person is Swami Anubhavanandaji. He is also from Chinmaya Mission of old. Eventually, if this knowledge has reached us, which was only through Guru Shishya Parampara for hundreds of years, now the renaissance is by this new entities like Ramakrishna Math, Chinmaya Mission, which gave a structure to similar kind of program. We have to be very grateful to those entities. And these are all offshoots when our gurus are from the same lineage, which was in the same way how it was taught in the old Gurukulas. And it's for a length of time, considerable length, by a competent guru, to be learnt under a competent guru for a length of time. Only then. Otherwise, we'll get missed. It will be like by hurting something or doing one more course for scholarship. I also did this. I also did an MBA. I also
I have
did
10 degrees, 5 fellowships.
and I also did Sanskrit. I also did Gita course. No, that's not the way.
God.
It's for your own this thing. So that's why that guru has to be there. And this is the structure what we have. Even now we have our YouTube channel, and we get together in satsang twice a week. And then
You get online on the satsang?
online. It started during COVID. Before COVID, it was live. It was 3 places in Bangalore. During COVID, it became online where all got together, and now it's continued online. It's recorded and put online. So we have followers for that. On Upanishads, Gita, all Vedantic texts, we do that. So that's the structure we have. Then again, this is about the Guru and Satsanga. Like in Shankara says, Satsangatve Nissangatvam.
Correct.
Nissangatve Nishchalatatvam.
Correct.
Nishchalatatve Jivan Mukti. So these are all initial steps only, even if we get into there. From you have to be there in that group so that you know you are not feeling alienated when people are thinking only about Artha Kama. There's some entity when you at least periodically get with that satsang. Then from that you will slowly withdraw from that also. When your thought process becomes so pointed that your exploration is very clear, from there onwards your journey is solitary. You, your guru, and you go introspective. You may become bhugata for certain period, nissangatva. Then from that time you reach the nishchala tattva. And that is Jivan Mukti. It's possible as a samsari
Jivan
being
Mukti
here.
equals moksha at the end of the day.
Jivan Mukti is that, being in that, like that 4th test match India would play after you have
or the
passed.
child dancing.
So you have passed, you have qualified. You have
nothing
won
to prove to
trophy.
anybody else, nothing to.
But still you play with your full effort, still to win, out of joy, not for joy, not for getting the trophy. Trophy is yours. You're doing it out of joy.
Got it. Komal, it was fantastic. Viewers, I don't think you ever expected us to be talking like this as 2 neurosurgeons sitting here active in practice. So remember, Rebooting the Brain podcast will always pull out surprises like this. Never, never, ever forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share all the things that is there, and press the bell icon. Remember to go on Amazon and buy a book, Rebooting the Brain. Get to know yourself, get to know your brain, get to know your mind, get to know yourself. So many things are going on. And that's all from us in this edition of the podcast, a special on Gita Jayanti. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
So, Komal, we have the customary thing of giving our guests a book.
Thank you, Sharan.
What
Thank you
we
very
have
much.
written called Rebooting the Brain.
Very nice.
So, thank you very much for all that you have done.
The journey of hope.
Yes,
Rebooting the brain.
Yes, the journey of
very
hope.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharan.
Badrinath could have stayed back in US because he got trained in retina. He's supposed to be one of the best retinal surgeons at that time. There he got offers in Boston to be there, Mass General. He said, no, I'm going to come back because there's a need in India. 1979. If he had not come back, I would have been blind. I would have had to go to one of the US centers. And that told that, there is a space. You go abroad, you do whatever you want. Come back.
Serve the
get
country.
Equipped. Serve your own people. There's a need. It had such an impact on, and it also told me the second thing, give hope to your patients. Yes. And that my entire approach to patients is that. And unless a doctor, a treating physician or a surgeon is on the other side of the table, you have to be on the other side at some point. So you need to record enough number of seizures, Second point is that you have to do the functional mapping of the entire network, and that gives you a lot of insights into how each part of the brain, what are the functions of each part.
Amazing. See, what's happening now as I'm hearing both of you is not only does the neurologist and the neurosurgeon have to have patience, the family also patient, family
Exactly.
also,
This is
because
the
they're
point.
saying, how long, doctor, you're going on and on with your
Exactly. And not
evaluation,
very-
what is
It's,
going on, you know?
It's
So,
very scary
yeah,
because
yeah,
you have
this-
14 arrows piercing your head. It's a very scary
yeah,
thought.
so they'll be,
And amazingly, they are ready to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the patients cooperate through this very. It looks difficult to me. I'm doing it, but it looks difficult to me. And I don't know how they are feeling
Yeah.
about it, but they go through
hope,
that.
that's what he said, because he sees in both of you somebody a ray of hope that probably this will get
That's
solved and I
exactly
can
the
get.
point. You
That's
see,
why they endure all of these things,
they-
because with the hope that the future is brighter.
That's another thing, yes. And that's the kind of hope that we have to give.
And not a false hope.
It's not
an
a false
honest,
hope.
An
And
honest
it's-
hope that is
and
coming
they
from
can
your
make out that
experience, with your wisdom,
Yeah.
and with your whatever is going on
Yeah.
that you have seen from the past and from all the experts.
You have to remove the temporal lobe.
Hmm.
Because it's a temporal lobe epilepsy. So before removing, you do ECOG. After removing at the margin, you do ECOG.
Hmm.
If the margin still shows significant electrical activity of sparking from the brain, you have to remove that extra little bit of tissue. This, of course, you can do when you are operating on the non-eloquent brain. Eloquent brain, you can't keep extending.
Keep extending.
So if you are in the frontal pole or part of the frontal lobe which doesn't have language, and after surgery, you say the margin is still firing, then you have to remove that extra bit of tissue.
Which is the electrophysiological excision.
This is the electrical abnormal brain.
Abnormal brain. Oh, God.
Which structurally may look normal.